Well, good evening, good day, good afternoon, good morning, good night. However, you are celebrating this Friday, I hope it is a good Friday. How you doing? It is Friday, September 26th, the year 2025, and we are back after a 2-week hiatus. One of those weeks was expected, the other one was not. So for those of you showing up after 2 weeks off, thanks for being here. Very much appreciated. We've got some ridiculousness to talk about this evening. Oh, there seems like there's not very many things going on in court. So we are going to focus on some stories that are lesser covered, and perhaps some hilarity will ensue. Who knows? I guess we shall see. Anyways, where are you guys tuning in from? How you doing? How was your week? What's going on? What's new in your life? Of course, start the stream, Rob, then you got to cough. Start the stream, then you got to cough. Way to go. 9:06 is not a bad start time for me, by the way. Those of you just tuning in, this is Friday Night Frenzy. Welcome to Friday. I'm Rob, practicing lawyer, and we are talking about some things going on in active cases, law related, that have occurred through this past week. 2 weeks? I don't know. It's been a while since I've done this. I forgot how to use all the buttons, so it's probably going to take me a few minutes to get acclimated again. And then again, that's settling into the comfort. But we are in the beginning stages of the live stream where we just like to chat a little bit as we wind into talking about, complex legal issues like, I don't know, Reese's peanut butter cups, or hypothetically speaking, whether or not a process server should jump a fence and try to serve someone with paperwork via that method, and the consequences ensuing from making that life choice decision. Just all kinds of ridiculousness. But I do know that there is a celebration that we've got to do here a little bit. Elizabeth Love has passed the Georgia bar. Congratulations, Elizabeth. That is a remarkable achievement. Wonderful, wonderful accomplishment. I wish you the best in your adventures forward and in the practice of this profession, if you choose to practice. So congratulations to you. Way to go. That exam is quite the chore, quite the challenge indeed. So to all of those who passed the Georgia bar today, to all of those who found out their past results in any of the bar exams today, congratulations. Welcome to the field and the practice of law. May you have a long career. May you have a career without controversy. May you have a career where you don't get sanctioned for using ChatGPT. I wish you all of the best and welcome to the profession. I now call you a colleague. So, way to go. That's awesome. What a good way to start a week, huh? Start a weekend. Great news. Great news. So, on the Rob front, hi, I'm Rob, that's me. On the Rob front, I have a lot of trial next week. Trial on Monday, Tuesday, trial on Wednesday, trial on Friday. A lot of trial next week, which has made this week very, we'll call it eventful in preparing for said trials. I think our printer got a workout that I was not expecting. There are probably, I did a count. There were 11 boxes of paper unopened at the beginning of this week. I have no idea how many remain, but prayers up for the trees. Good thing we recycle all the paper we don't use, and good thing we recycle all the paper we do use after we use it. Because I tell you what, the practice of law is quite document and paper intensive. Kristen M96 is giving a birthday shout out to Sandy. Happy early birthday, Sandy. Sandy, one of the glorious mods. Please show the mods some love as you are here. People are asking for a Leo update. Well, the Chaos Gremlin is, he's a Chaos Gremlin. I would like to tell you that he was very sweet and kind and observant of all of the household needs when individuals within the household were sick. I would like to convey that information. I don't know that I can factually, but I think his heart might have been in the right place. His feet were never in the right place. Nope. It was a whole lot of time. So first, we had some iteration of the cough that brought down 2020. That transpired a week and a half ago. And then there was a lingering and ongoing other issue. Cold something, I don't know what it was, but it had me out and down for the count. Do not recommend on this year's batch of the cough. The word that, I guess we're allowed to say it now. Now that, YouTube has admitted that they deleted a whole lot of accounts and a whole lot of content for mentioning a certain virus. And they promised and assured they would never do that again. We trust them, right? Yeah, we trust them. We do. I'm asking permission from Mischief if I can share something. And, Lord only knows when we're going to hear back whether I can share something or not, because there's a Leo update and there's a really cute photo of Leo that I wanted to share. So I'm going to ask that question. And we'll wait till we hear back before I make that share of all of the things. I suppose I can share a couple of other oddball things that occurred in the past 2 weeks. Apart from everything office related. So anyways, 2 trials next week, which means my brain is like literally all over the place, just everywhere. I've had a great deal of focus today. It was remarkable. It was a long stretch of remarkable focus. I loved it. The focus was enviable to all. People wish they could have focused as much as I did today. That focus has now expired. It is gone. We are lapsed. We have lost it. We will be lucky if I make it through a single topic without jumping to 6 more. I give you that warning just as a warning. I promise we will get through legal topics. We will talk legal topics. I did take my medicine today. We just use all of the brain power. All the brain power. So there is none left in the tank. None left in the tank. Bring on the side quests. Yes, Lady Fang, bring on the side quest. Kaylee saying hyper focus depleted. Yeah, hyper focus. I need to refuel the focus tank. I don't know if there was a focus tank, but that is where we are. That's where I am. Let's see. At the firm-wide, the lovely firm-wide all-office meeting, which was phenomenal. Ended up having to pick up a $700 bar tab for the associates and everyone that was drinking because a certain someone, not me, one of the partners neglected to leave a card or took their card with them rather than cashing out. So that was fun. That's why we're the partners. The partners carry that load, our responsibility. I'm just randomly talking and aimlessly while I'm trying to find where I wanted to go with the next topic. I told you it would be interesting today. Promised. So I have deigned or aspired to cover 3 total topics this evening. 3 total topics. Was it 3 or was it 2? I can't remember. I'm going to look at checks notes. 3 topics today. Oh. We have funny topic, TMZ related, not necessarily law related ish, in that there was a process server that got arrested while serving process in a rather eventful fashion. There was a long bit of litigation that ended in spectacular fashion with an opinion that I have not yet fully read that I want to read in connection with a product made by Hershey's. And then there is and are lawyers continuing to get in trouble for using ChatGPT. So that is where we are. Now, I say that 3 topics because we're not going, it's not like there's a whole laundry list of things that we could possibly explore as side quests along the way. Like a skipping rock scandal that I just gleaned. Why did I look at that? Why did I look at that? I don't know why I looked at that. I'm in desperate need of a haircut too. It is horrible. I just looked at myself on the screen. Oh my gosh, what a disaster. Nightmare fuel. Baby Steps, thank you very much for gifting memberships. Okay, so everybody's yelling at me to focus. A little bit of showing, a little bit of sharing, and then we will get into topic numero uno. I think numero uno is going to be the well, we'll see what numero uno is. I have to crop. Just told I have to crop some stuff. So people wanted the Pupdate. And I'm going to see if I can do a Pupdate here. You know, hypothetically speaking, if we are able to do anything at all, which we should be able to. I mean, we have done these things before. It's just a matter of executing them now. What's different about it? I don't know. Taking some time off, hanging out, not doing much. Probably crop that down a little bit. Let me see. So how was y'all's week? Of those avid bar passers, how did we do? Were we terrified of it? Did we love it? Did we hate it? We hated it. I know. Don't even try to tell me you loved it. I know you're lying. I know you're lying because your lips are moving. That is a song I don't know. So those are the topics. That's the plan for the evening. We will get to that plan, I promise you, at some point in time. Because I don't know that the issues are very complex. I did watch the hearing involving Karen Reed. If I'm going to be honest with you guys entirely, I'm not nearly as fascinated in the civil case. I know it's going to be intriguing with the different players going to be brought into it, at least at this stage. I think I'm going to wait until there's a little bit more discovery disputes, things like that we can talk about. So let's do this. People wanted a Leo update. I'm going to give 2 versions, 2 iterations of the Leo update to hopefully appease the masses. And by 2 iterations, I mean that we're going to get 2 photographs of said animal. Who is Leo? Leo is a Doberman. Doberman is a crazy. He's nuts. He's nuts. We've also had massive amounts of rain, which means that the yard in the back is just a disaster. So we're not doing the yard right now because there's all of this. So we'll give you the normal one. The normal one. This is the cute, handsome devil Leo update. There you go. There's the handsome young man dog. just hanging out. Yeah, there's the Leo. There's the Leo. So Leo is behaving and doing great. That's the normal Leo update. And then when I was trying to leave to go somewhere with Mischief and perhaps bring the dog, he decided he wanted to drive the truck. So didn't get in his normal place, jumped in the driver's seat and was like, where are we going? I can do this. I got my license. So there's the abnormal Pupdate. Leo was not framed. Where was it? Leo was not framed. Leo did this by his own self. Mispronounced name. How dare you? Yeah. He was a DD. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I could have gotten pulled over. No harm, no foul. We didn't go anywhere. Not with him like that. I ended up getting him out of it. He was a traveler on the land. Y'all are hilarious. He was a traveler on the land. You're right. He didn't have to show a license or registration. Nope. Didn't have to do that. Why would he have to do that? Because you cannot punish him because he's a traveler on the land. Is that what they say? I think that's what they say. So there's the Pupdate. It's good. We also had some fun picking some peppers. Because I finally got to make my own hot sauce. I had fun with that too. So we had some lovely Scotch bonnet peppers. They were delicious. Absolutely amazing. Wonderful. Got to turn those into some hot sauce. Did all those things. And then finally went to a place that has one of the coolest contraptions I have seen, and I'm sharing it with you. Why am I sharing it with you? Why was it cool? Is this an ADHD side quest that we're having before we get to a topic? I don't know the answers to these questions. They're rhetorical. Y'all, when I tell you it has been a week, there are not words. We will get through this. For those of you that are looking at the screen, you will see the screen, and on the screen in front of you are various barbecue options, barbecue sauce options. Yes, those are barbecue sauce dispensers. They are barbecue sauce dispensers that are, in fact, sauce udders. Your eyes do not deceive you. Your eyes do not deceive you. This was the thing that made me and brought me the most joy in the last week and a half. They are udders. So in order to get the barbecue sauce out of the ensemble, you had to milk the barbecue sauce. That was a very poor choice of hand gesture. You had to use the udders. And when I tell you that it is more complicated than you would have thought, I don't know if it was user error, designer malfunction, if it's the consistency that was the problem, but when you get that thing going, it's like a jet stream of barbecue sauce. It is just, it is launching to the point where if you have a cup that you're pouring the barbecue sauce into, right? So you got, envision this just conceptually for a second. You are trying to milk the barbecue sauce. For those of you just joining, we're talking about barbecue sauce that's edible and not from a, just scroll back 30 seconds. You might understand where we are. You might not, but then again, that's what it is. If you hold a plastic cup and you are milking the barbecue sauce into the plastic cup, when it comes out of those udders at the speed and velocity that it does, and it hits the back end of that cup, it is rebounding everywhere. And it is not neat or tidy. The idea and the concept behind the udders dispensing barbecue sauce was wonderful. But from concept to execution, there were more than one shirt. There was more than one shirt there that was just covered in barbecue sauce. It was just, I'm also completely aware that I probably used the most nonsensical choice of words that I probably could. And there's probably 5 different clips of things that I just said that I'm going to be embarrassed by at some point in time. But there were udders on barbecue sauce. So forgive me for being intrigued and excited about that. God, it was ridiculous. What a disaster. What a disaster. I still want to think about why have I never seen that before? Why has that not existed in my life? Who'd ever thought to create that? And then was like, you know what I want to do? I want to put udders on a barbecue sauce container. Well, gee, John, how are you going to administer that? Well, it's really cool. I'm going to make a contraption that holds the barbecue sauce container upside down. Well, don't they make these things like called squirt bottles, right? Like, so you can put it in the squirt bottle and just give it that way. Nope. Not nearly efficient enough. It is not nearly efficient enough at staining the shirts and dispensing more barbecue sauce than these people can possibly eat. It was really funny. It brought me joy. Brought me great joy. So it is what it is. It is just. So that was located at Flying Ace Brewery / Distillery, out in Lovettsville. I believe it's Lovettsville, Virginia. But that was out there. A friend of ours was the musician tasked for the afternoon's entertainment, so we went to go watch said friend and partook in some of the barbecue that they had for flavor. It was really tasty too. And the barbecue sauce is pretty damn good. So can't really hate it. Yes, H Scorpio with a super chat to try and get me to say something ridiculous, which is ridiculous. I don't know. It's just barbecue sauce out of udders. H Scorpio, you must use a smooth and steady motion on the teat. Utterly ridiculous. Ridiculous, I say. Utterly ridiculous. Gen X is playing catch up now behind the stream. Felt and understood when he mentioned the complete focus zone for a long duration, but now it's gone. It is so gone. It is any level of focus is gone. For those of you in the chat wondering if we're going to see Ian this evening, I haven't been able to talk to anybody apart from like 2 or 3 minutes with the minis. A very brief, like, hello to the future misses. And then there's just clients opposing counsel, opposing parties and judges. That has been the steady stream all week long. So words and text messages. I think I have like 60 unread texts. Let me see. Nope, only 32 unread text messages. One of my friends made a comment in a group chat because one of us didn't respond for a long period of time. And the person said, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm laughing at this. It's not that funny. But one of my friends responded in a group chat. It's a group text message exchange. And he says, it only takes you 30 seconds to pick up the phone and text me back. And I responded, it only took me a week to read your message in the first place. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that. But God. Okay. So we are caught up. We are calmed down from the utterly ridiculousness of the utter administration. I don't know. I feel like we're going to have like utter references to utters throughout the entire show. I have said the word utter more in this live stream than I think I have in the 5 years next preceding my starting this live stream. I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess that. Utterly ridiculous, I say. Utterly ridiculous. Lisa Paxton, despite being told I would fail one or both, I passed the bar for the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the state of Indiana. Never have to do that again. Lisa Paxton, congratulations. We are celebrating all the bar passers. All of you who passed the bar, congratulations. Welcome to the practice. I can now officially call you a colleague as well as a friend. So thank you for letting us partake and celebrate that wonderful accomplishment. For those of you who took the bar and did not pass, here's the thing. Doesn't mean that you're not a good lawyer. Doesn't mean anything at all. It just means you didn't have a good day and you get to do it again. Head up. You'll do it again. So don't worry about that. A lot of individuals did not pass the bar the first time. I know damn good lawyers who didn't pass the bar the first time. All right, so let's make sure I'm getting caught up. Getting caught up. Bunch of members. Tumwater Troy, thank you. Someone bloody random. Google Maps did nothing wrong. Google Maps did everything wrong. All the time. You're Liar. Even though you've been a member for 6 months. DSN member for 28 months. Thank you for gifted memberships and gifted 5 back to the community. Thank you very much. Jay, Michael, MSNRN. Yay. Hey, Rob, praying for good vibes. There are plenty of those, and good vibes will always abound. Mispronounced name. Tell me a lie for why you were late. The lie for why I was late? I don't know if I have to lie about that. One of them was just the ADHD. The other one was the minis. The other one was the fact that I had to pull up the materials I was looking for. I mean, all the things, and those are truths. A good lie for why I was late? I don't know. Aliens picked me up earlier today and they just dropped me off and they got lost on the way. I feel like that might sell in class. I don't know. Baby steps. Won't be able to say out for my son-in-law's 27th birthday. Happy birthday to the son-in-law. Catch the replay. Have fun. Have fun to you celebrating the son-in-law's birthday. Megan, aka Meg, is autistic. 2 years of side quests. AUDHD. Me, Rob, and chat equals fun. Thanks for being here, Megan. 2 years in. Sandy is thanking everyone for the birthday wishes. Thank you, Sandy, for being the mod, helping behind the scenes. Hey, the mods scouted out. All of the mods, please thank them right now. The mods scouted out and found these stories. I was looking at some point in time this week, but these stories that we're going to be covering this evening. So this entire live stream is brought to you, with the exception of one case, I think, by the mods. So thank them. Thank them. Jen DeCinio, thanks for being a member. Terry K, thanks for becoming a member. June S, thank you for the very, very kind gifted memberships. 50 gifted memberships. Thank you very much. SF and Tex. Leo must be a soft citizen. He's something. He's a chaos gremlin. Lindsay, can Leo even be a soft sit when he's reigning champ of doggo with the most legal representation on the planet? That is true. He's how many? Wonder how much that would be per hour based on how many lawyers are on Leo's payroll. Got to be over 1,600, right? Suppose if anyone would get away with it, it would be him with a panel of lawyers making the argument. Depends on the judge. Christine D, what color cows does barbecue sauce come from? I don't know. I would like to imagine that there's like the orange ones that are like the mix of the mustard and the ketchup based. And then there's like yellow cows that would have the mustard. Where would the vinegar come from? Like the vinegar based barbecue sauce? Spicy cow? I don't know. Kind of strange. Puppies and pizza. Thanks for being a member for 3 months. Very kind of you. Pam Bystrack, saw orthopedic surgeon today. Told I need to have a knee replaced no later than 6 to 12 months or might not be able to have surgery. Oh my. Have to wait until at least November 22nd, 90 days after last cortisone shot. Oh my gosh, that'll be a lot of pain that you're in right now. I'm sorry that you're going through that. Please accept a lot of kind thoughts as you work your way towards that. Hopefully going to make life a little bit better. Lucy Fair, the aliens have ADHD too. They absolutely do. I think. Vexatious Parrot, so glad you're back, Mr. Snark. Thank you very much. All right. So what do you say? Laura M was also coming in with a request, apparently conveyed from Recovery Addict to Scott. Wanted to see if mods have the timestamp, I can take a look at that reaction. In the Jose Escalera case, when he was arguing for life without parole versus the death penalty. Oh my. Let's see. I might be able to find that. Court TV was streaming that this week, I think. I think I saw 1 or 2 notifications pop up. We are singing. Let's see the penalties. See, people are saying I have to see the penalty phase for this. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to cover a very short topic. Then, might take a break and watch some of the sentencing. I lied. We are going to cover 2 very short topics. Then, we might take a break and talk about the sentencing or watch whatever needs to be watched. That is the plan. Please don't blame me if we fall wayside along the way. Niklas is coming in to say that he brought home 8 bottles of souvenirs, liquid souvenirs, and Jeff had only gotten 5 bottles of booze. If there was someone who's going to get booze out of the States, it would be Vices. I'll tell you that. It is scotch. Absolutely. Okay. So, small topic. I think small topic number 1. Where was the penalty phase of this other one? Rob, don't try to do 2 things at once when your ADHD is going off the chains. As I try to do 2 things at once while my ADHD is going off the chains. Jose, where are you and your case so that I can find you? So we are the sentencing. Soto Escalera. Defense presents argument to avoid. There it is. Defense presents argument. All right. So I found that. So when we get to that, we can get to that. Thanks, Jeff. Squirrel. Yes, squirrel. Lots of them. They're all over the place. Everywhere. I found it was from yesterday, 1 day ago. So short topic to cover first. We will swoop to the short topic. Swoop. I remember how to push some of the buttons. Like mischiefs all the time. Honey, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I was lying. So Scandal has returned to the great and decent sport of outdoor recreation. I mean, for those of you who might recall that a while back, I think about a year and a half ago, there was a scandal over fishing competition, and there were weights in the fish, and people were very, very, very upset. Well, Scandal has again rocked the world. Eating Scandal rocks the world stone skipping championships. I didn't know there was a thing. Really didn't. There is a competition. You know what? Only in Scotland. Only in Scotland, where there's competitions about throwing like piers up in the air. So why not? The World Stone Skimming Championships have been rocked by a cheating scandal after several competitors were disqualified for tampering. Survey, how do you tamper with a stone skimming contest? More than 2,200 people from 27 countries attended this year's event on the tiny island of Eastdale off the west coast of Scotland. Rules state that stones must come from naturally occurring island slate. Oh, however, some were found to have been ground into a suspiciously circular shape to help them bounce off the water. What? Dastardly. Horrible. Suspiciously circular, you say? Sounds like my reasoning sometimes. It was I don't know if that was a horrible joke or not. Yeah. Organizer Dr. Kyle Matthews told BBC News that the offenders had held their hands up and apologized. Entrants choose their own stones and judges use a measuring device, the ring of truth, to ensure they are no bigger than 3 inches in diameter. Each competitor is allowed 3 skims, and the stones must bounce at least twice on the water before sinking. Tell you what, these are some rules. It is the ring of truth. Dr. Matthews, also known as the Tossmaster, told BBC Radio's Good Morning Scotland the judges heard rumors and murmurings of some nefarious deeds. There was a little bit of stone doctoring, he said. They had shaped it so it was perfectly circular and fitted our 3-inch measurer. As it's a piece of metal, I don't think I can blame it too much. The problem was we didn't notice it at the time, and they were suspiciously circular. All of those stones look suspiciously circular. Well, solid. Angela, the book nerdist, toss Aster. Sorry. This tracks my maturity level, Jeff. So I appreciate this. There's a 3-inch measurer. There's a device that's a 3-inch measurer. It's oh no. There's so many bad jokes. So many bad jokes. Dr. Matthews said lessons had been learned and they would move on to an even greater event next year. Shocking. Entrant Jonathan Jennings went on the victory last week as the first American winner. Oh, look at that. Skimming his stones a cumulative distance of 177 meters. The event was first organized in 1983 by island resident Albert Baker, and after break, was revived in 1997 by the community. The contest is staged in a former state quarry that was flooded by a tidal wave. Hey, proceeds support local community projects and charities. Last year raised £15,000. That's wonderful. That is a stone skipping contest. I don't know what else to say. That's pretty good. So, like I said, cheating scandals have rocked the world yet again. I don't know how we will ever recover. It is utterly astounding to me. Utterly astounding. Told you, it's just gonna be around for a little bit. You're just gonna have to live with it. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm utterly ashamed. All right. So it rocked the world. It did. It absolutely rocked the world. Rocked the world indeed. Bell, thank you very much for the super chat. All right. Like I said, one quick diversion. Not too bad. What do you say we talk about some other craziness? Like some really dumb decision making. Okay. So it was just a stone throw away. Suckling the teat of the joke. Oh, this is just, you guys are killing me today. Absolutely killing me. Heard that. Oh my. This is also probably true, Wani. Someone's going to say utterly in court one day and I won't be able to keep it together. Oh, please let that happen this trial. I could not think of a more inopportune time for me to keel over laughing in the middle of the courtroom than this particular upcoming trial. I swear, opposing counsel, please don't say utterly. Oh my God. I don't know if I could survive that shame. Okay. The next story that we were going to be talking about this evening was this. That was very intriguing to me. So someone did something dumb. Reading the reporting of People, take that for what you will, but that's what it is. A man was arrested at Travis Kelce's home after jumping the fence to serve Taylor Swift deposition papers from Justin Balzoni. See, what the fuck is wrong? Justin Baldoni, process server, was arrested on September 15th after allegedly attempting to serve the pop star deposition papers on behalf of Baldoni's legal team. Process server arrested outside of Travis Kelce's home after trying to serve Taylor Swift. Lawyers with Baldoni's legal team. Wait, hang on. Yes. So this was in this dispute. People can confirm the man identified as Justin Lee Fisher, 48 years old, was arrested at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. on September 15th after being suspected of jumping a fence into the Kansas City Chiefs tight end's gated Leawood, Kansas estate. 2 a.m. Why are we doing that at 2 a.m.? Okay, sure. The newly engaged couple, both 35. Why are we gonna people? Did we need to name the ages of these individuals, like their respective ages? Like, was it relevant to the story? And from your perspective, are we calling them old or young, or why are we putting the ages in there? Was this like some pertinent? Was I going to mistake Travis Kelce, the 35-year-old, for Travis Kelce, the 85-year-old? Okay. That sounds really dumb. Really dumb. Anyways, sidetrack done. So they were believed to be the residents. Fisher was charged with jumping the fence onto a private residence in a private neighborhood. I don't know if that's the formal charge. Why is it quoted? Is what it is. Okay, sure. Details of the incident were allegedly missing from the one-page police report, which reportedly stated in bold letters, this information is restricted as to use and dissemination. According to Star. They were the first outlet to report it, so we might look at that article. There's the power couple. On September 13th, people reported that Swift is unlikely to be deposed in the legal battle. Yeah, I don't see why you would be able to depose her at this point in time. U.S. District Judge overseeing the case declined Baldoni's request for a 30-day extension on the discovery cutoff date. Oh, you're run up against a deadline. September 30 was the cutoff date, September 30th. Lively's extension request to October 10th was granted. Oh, there you go. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, had asked for extra time to depose Swift, who he claimed in a September 11th letter to Judge Lyman was willing to do so. Look, if you are you are saying that she was willing to sit down with your lawyers and be deposed. One, I don't know if we have the same definition of willing. I think Taylor Swift might have told you that she was willing to if she was served a subpoena that required or compelled her appearance, but I don't know if she said willing, because willing suggests that, you could have sent this to her by email. She'd been like, cool, be there. No problem. My security team will talk to your people and I'll be there for the deposition. But this just doesn't sound like someone that's cooperating with deposition request, huh? But Swift did not agree to the deposition. Oh, same day. So why are you saying there was an agreement? My client did not agree to a deposition, but if she is forced into a deposition, we advised after first hearing about the deposition just 3 days ago that her schedule would accommodate the time required during the week of October 20th. Like it was, yeah. I did not read ahead. I should have kept reading because, of course, the lawyer said exactly what I thought was going to happen. Yeah, we take no role in these disputes. Logical. So Lively filed a lawsuit against Baldoni, as well as and then she alleged that she experienced sexual harassment and was the victim of a retaliatory smear campaign after she spoke up about it, which they deny. They also filed a counterclaim, which was, I believe, dismissed. Swift's song is featured in the film. Swift first had her name dragged into the case when Baldoni filed his $400 million countersuit, which was dismissed in June. Keep reading, Rob. Why would I? Sure, why not? In court documents, Baldoni claimed that he was pressured into accepting one of Lively's suggested rewrites. during a meeting with Swift and Reynolds after he was summoned to Lively and Reynolds' penthouse in New York City. Well, that would be curious, wouldn't it? During a text exchange with Baldoni following the meeting, Lively allegedly referenced HBO's Game of Thrones and referred to Reynolds and Swift as her dragons. How weird if that's real. Baldoni's lawyers also subpoenaed Swift, a move that a representative for Swift slammed at the time. Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of this movie. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. She did not score the film. She never saw an edit or made any notes on the film. She did not even see It Ends With Us until weeks after its public release, and was traveling around the globe during 2023 and 2024, headlining the biggest tour in history. Okay. So, the subpoena was drawn the same month. Of course it was. Why not? Why not? So, what have we learned? One, don't serve papers at 2:00 in the morning. Two, don't tell the court you have an agreement about something that you don't, especially when that agreement is, hey, I totally have Taylor Swift's agreement to switch to sit down for a deposition. I think we can stick with those two. Three, when executing a subpoena or service of a subpoena, I don't know. Maybe don't jump over somebody's fence, especially if that person happens to be like a celebrity that plays, I don't know, NFL football, whose, fiance is also the largest pop singer in the world. So don't break in to the property to serve a subpoena, because you might end up on the wrong side of criminal charges. All right. Yeah, milking that joke for all it's worth. I was Carol Greer. Really was. It was unfortunate. Mackenzie Jabali. So glad to see you back. Hope you're on the mend. I am. Still stuffy, but on the mend. We are doing well. All right, so what do you guys say? We want to talk about the Jose Soto Escalera and the argument that was made yesterday to avoid the death penalty? I have it. We should. We need a second here, huh? Let's see. Yeah, everyone's saying yes. All right. So let's go ahead and swoop, and we'll get to that. Why not? Add a new topic. What else are we doing this evening? We're just hanging out. Okay. So let's do this. Make sure I have closed captioning turned on. Make that full screen. Share that screen, which includes the audio of that screen. Is my hair getting low? It's a disaster right now. It's terrible. The Fitzsimmons case. I saw people calling for this Fitzsimmons case. That case is domestic relations related. I would like to be able to get caught up on that. I just know that there's a lot of facts, and knowing how mass people cover mass, I don't want to get ahead of my skis on anything, especially talking about domestic issues. So let's see. The defense is going to make this argument. Yeah, argument. Let's rock and roll. Have I seen this at all? No, not a damn thing. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the synopsis, though. I know the Court TV keeps those. Court TV. Jose. What is it, Escalera? Oh, this case is going to mess with me, isn't it? Yeah, probably. This is going to be tough. Find the article. So Jose Antonio Soto Escalera was found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of Tanya Wise and their unborn child. That's why it's a capital case. The jury deliberated for 1 hour before returning a verdict. Ooh. That is a quick deliberation. According to court documents, the body of a 23-year-old Wise was found face down in a roadside drainage ditch on August 24th, 2018. At the time of her death, Wise was 8.5 months pregnant. DNA determined that Soto Escalera was the father of the unborn child. So, court documents detailed that Soto Escalera was married at the time of the murder. Witness told investigators that Soto Escalera had given Wise money for an abortion and believed that the defendant was mad because Wise didn't follow through and kept the money. Oh, baby. Picking a jury in this case must have been very interesting. Wow. All right. So, after returning a verdict for a 1 hour deliberation. Okay, I feel like I got to change my mindset here for a minute. So, what we are going to be watching is apparently the argument being made by the defense for alternative disposition, basically decreasing the penalty. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm probably going to gain this up already to, let's say, 350% in hopes that that will solve. Oh, I just became Australian for a second. That was really weird. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Defense argument, Mr. Burke.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Greetings also to you.
All right, chat. You got something? Can you hear okay? Is the volume all right? We have the closed captioning on. Are we good? We're good. Everyone good? Even though we're watching a case about a terrible capital murder, are we good? Ugh. We're going to keep the topics light tonight. We're going to keep the topics light. We're going to talk about fun things like Reese's getting, a lawsuit kicked out, or Travis Kelce and some idiot going to serve him. We're going to talk about fun things. Look at us. Fun. Death penalty, murder, life without parole. Okay.
Tanya Wise. Josiah Wise. Murdered by Jose, who is my client.
Okay. All right. So context. Oh my gosh. All right. I have to explain more of this. In capital cases, the jury is the one who both determines guilt and determines whether the punishment will go all the way to death penalty. Okay. So that's a capital case. Because it is the jury that's making that determination, for the most part, you would expect that you would have some sentencing date off in the future, right? If it was a judge, they think Darrell Brooks, think all these other cases where usually the sentencing takes place months in advance because we want some pre-sentencing report, or we want to have an investigation and background. Usually it takes place down the future. In capital cases, because the jury is making the determination, you're not calling the jury back several weeks, months down the road after they have been tainted, like let out into the public after their verdict, to bring them back to hear a sentencing disposition. The exception is where the sentencing phase of trial might be exceedingly long, like several days. But even in that case, which I believe was the Nicholas Cruz case, I believe that the sentencing phase began immediately after the verdict. I might be wrong, but typically right after the verdict, because you don't want the jury, their time is valuable. So that puts the jury in a posture of already having determined that the person that is in front of them has done the egregious crime that they were charged with, a crime that was so egregious that it merits or warrants in certain jurisdictions the determination of whether the death penalty is appropriate. So that jury is probably pretty pissed off at your guy. They did just find them guilty. So now the lawyer, who at about 3 hours prior, who was arguing to that jury, please do not convict my guy because my guy is innocent of these things. And the jury's like, nah, bro, you're a liar. This individual now has to stand back up in front of that jury and say, hey, everything I just said that you just completely dismissed, I want you to put that aside. Just put that aside right now. And let me tell you why, even though you found that my guy did the thing, you should not sentence him to death. Oh, look, it's a few days prior. Either way, the sentiment remains. The sentiment remains. It is the same thing. Oh, that's right. That was a Cruz case. I remember that. He pled, and then it was up to the jury on that one. Case. Okay, side quest over. Focuser again. So we are listening to the argument for why this jury that determined him guilty within 1 hour should not subject this individual to death penalty.
The trial is always about the accused, but the case is about those two. The main facts of the case are that they are not here anymore. And I tell you that because...
Fuck was that argument? We're going to wax poetic? The fuck was that? Okay. Weird start.
It's true. And I tell you that because I wish you to recognize that I know it. None of the evidence that has come before you has been received by me in any inhuman or different way than you have received it. I've just lived with it for a much longer time.
Whoa. Whoa. What? All right. Sure. Huh.
I wish to respond to some of the things that Prosecutor Richardson just indicated. He made a very strong case, and I told you yesterday that
we spent it to 1.25. Okay. We're at 1.25. Oh, Nicholas, why did you bring that back? Why did you bring that up? Why? Remember when Ms. Love quoted the Jungle Book in the YSL trial? Oh, God. No, I forgot that one. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're off to a great start. Way to go, team. We're good. It's going to get better, right?
I am not going to quarrel with the fact that this was a coldly and calculatedly and premeditatedly done act. We have Jose's voice in his truck a couple of days before this. That was his plan. I don't dispute that. So what does that mean for you?
What the fuck are you Wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Wait, hold on. I can't. Did he just say I don't dispute that? Did he just say I don't dispute that? He said that we have this evidence. I don't dispute this evidence that you knew about the entire time. Oh, God. this is within like a very short window of time after you told them to disregard that evidence, or that evidence wasn't credible, right? they're gonna love you, bro. You're doing great. Oh no.
Well, it means you're going to unanimously find that there's an aggravator. And the gate is swinging wide open for you to kill him if you want to now. Last legal requirement is met. The baby.
I'm sorry. I am sorry. I am sorry. All right. So I feel like I need to adjust. I need a moral cleanse for a second. Okay. Okay. So I previously read the facts of this case. This case is horrible. It is egregious. It is absolutely a travesty beyond all words that this life was lost, especially that this life was carrying a pure, innocent life. It was 1 month away from being born. Those facts are why this is on the table for the death penalty. If I find myself laughing, I am laughing at this lawyer making an argument that I think is, well, if he wants him to get the death penalty faster, maybe he's arguing for efficiency. I don't. This is God. Oh my God. All right. I'm just giving you guys a warning. I'm still gonna laugh. I'm not gonna be able to not laugh, but I want to make clear I'm not forgetting the victim. I think at the end of the day, we know where this goes, right? We do know. He does get the death penalty. So we can talk about that later. We are 2 minutes in. 2 minutes in. Oh,
I told you yesterday that those photos look to me much like a newborn baby. Certainly less than 12 years of age. I don't argue that aggravator. Now there are two.
oh my God.
I'm here to try to save my guy's life, not insult your intelligence. Those two factors are there. I don't have arguments against them that are in any way meaningful. That the crimes were committed while there were contemporaneous other capital felonies going on. Jose kills Tanya, the baby, is a contemporaneous crime. They work back and forth as aggravators. If you wish to find them so unanimously, I will only say this:
this is a defense argument. So the defense argument is to give them a roadmap. Do you want to put check boxes on a piece of paper for them? You're going to give them you're going to feel like this is the defense, right? It is.
Existence of the baby Josiah, the fact that Tanya was pregnant, is clearly a central fact. But Jose's intent, while it would necessarily have to cover the baby, his anger, his hatred, whatever it was that was really pushing him and motivating him along, was aimed at Tanya.
Oh my God.
There were no abdominal injuries. No indication of hatred toward the baby.
What the fuck? That was not said with a straight face. What? Excuse me? There were no injuries to the abdomen, therefore no intention to hurt the baby, just the mom who was carrying an 8.5-month-old baby? Like, well, gestationally? There was no intention? It wasn't, I didn't mean to hurt the baby because I only meant to hurt the mom. Whoa, my word. Please, for the record, we are 3.5 minutes in. I can't. Oh no. I need to stop pausing. Sorry, you're gonna have to stop saying those things. You are really gonna have to stop. you have to start making some logical sense because I don't have time to watch 56 minutes of this at this pace.
Mr. Richardson tells you that because Jose said I'd lose everything, that therefore, beyond a reasonable doubt, you should all conclude that this crime was done for or affected by financial gain. No, that is not proved. If you are worrying about losing your marriage, that doesn't mean you're worried because there might be financial implications. If you're worried about losing your job because your wife is a supervisor, the uncontroverted evidence before you is that Jose has worked steadily since he's 15 and been totally self-sufficient. A divorce is not going to knock him off kilter. Fearing having to look for a new job is not going to prompt him to do a murder.
Sir? Hi, divorce attorney here. The significant other or the paramour that you are having the affair with becoming pregnant while you are still married creates a financial challenge. And divorce absolutely is expensive at that juncture. And this is so we're just gonna this is gonna be horrible. This is horrible.
That this crime was done for financial gain is not proved beyond a reasonable doubt because of the consequences of divorce, because of child support. He paid child support for 3 children, is the evidence before you, and gave groceries and clothing for the 4th.
Okay.
That is not proved. Extreme facts require, says the state, an extreme sentence.
Wait.
These are horrible facts.
Did you just burp? Did you burp? Did he burp? What was that? What happened? Why did the tone change? Like, hang on. I hear that again. Hang on.
Extreme facts require, says the state, an extreme sentence.
No, he just went frog mode. That was cool. All right. We have different intonations in our voice that we can hit in awkward ways. Oh, this is gonna be. Told you the ADHD was firing. I said it was there. I gave you warning. I apologize for nothing.
These are horrible facts. Every murder is comprised of horrible facts and would consist of photos of a victim in sight, photos of a victim during autopsy. Jose, according to the evidence, planned to get Tanya to a place and kill her. That's every mob hit ever. Let's get Paulie to the club and we'll whack him. That's not an extreme fact. That's an ordinary fact. We're talking about facts.
No. It is not an ordinary fact. It's not an ordinary. What did you just basically say that Goodfellas was normal? Like, that's an ordinary fact. Like, hey, Paulie, let's take him to get in the club and shoot him. That's not an ordinary. That's not. I don't have that fact in my days. That's not ordinary. So that's kind of extreme. We're just gonna do mob hits. The mob hit is not aggravating. It's okay.
Acts of murder, mind you. We're talking about murder. To get someone to a place that no one can see to do the crime is not extreme. It's common in murder. Raul Benasco spent 90 minutes with Jose. Perhaps Mr. Richardson would prefer that he moved in with him for a year in his cell. How long is a man supposed to sit with them to learn some history and review his prison record, which is what the man's expertise is all about?
Why are we yelling?
That Lucinda Cook had no communication with Jose for 13 years and yet came in here after all that time to speak on his behalf doesn't count against him, it counts for him. What kind of an impression did he make on her? That after all this time, she consults, she prays, and she comes in. When other people are jumping ship, she comes.
Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? I repeated that way too many times. Why? What is? Are you mad? Like, you do realize that you're asking them not to kill your client.
comes in. And her intention is not to tell you who he is now or quarrel with you about your verdict. It's to say, look, whatever you found that he did, I'm surprised by it because that's not the way he behaved with me and with my children. With us, he made us feel safe. And that takes me to kind of one of the topics that I want to discuss with you. I had hoped to just roll through here without having to refer to anything written, but the situation changed with my witnesses and whatnot. And so I'm going to refer to some topics here, and then I'm going to explain them to you. And one of the things that's going on here, I'm going to refer to as box and balloon. Box and balloon. It sounds like a kid's game. Bear with me here. The box is the life of Jose Soto Escalera in toto, everything from birth to now, certainly from birth to the time he did the murder. And as you heard.
So you all know what this game is? I have never in my life referenced a game called The Box and the Balloon. What is The Box and the Balloon? Why are you choosing this analogy? I am so confused. What is happening? Why are we talking about boxes and balloons?
Heard from his family. Yeah, it's what's expected from family. Would your family come in and run you under the bus? I hope not. So he was good. He was generous. He was uplifting. He was a mediator. He left and encouraged us to come out. There were good things to Jose. He comes to Florida. There are women who say good things about him. Madeline Colon and Lucinda Cook. He has long-term relationships with them. He supports emotionally and otherwise children that are his and that aren't his. He brings safety to women who are recovering from traumatic relationships.
He brings safety to women who are recovering from traumatic relationships. Poor choice of words. Like, what? He just killed one that was carrying his child. What the fuck are you saying? This is the defense, right? I'm not on drugs. Is he on drugs? Are we on drugs? Oh.
All that is in the box. At the bottom, we insert a balloon.
Nope.
A balloon is this crime. It is
Don't
this
do
murder.
that.
It inflates because it is the chief act within all the acts of that box. The question for you is, how big does the balloon get? Does it crowd out every other thing in a man's existence to the point where you regard him as almost inhuman? And therefore,
Oh my God, please tell me. Please tell me I am not the only one remarkably immature that saw that hand gesture. No. No one else? Was I the only one? That was of all the things you could have done. Why did you do it? Oh no.
or man's for you because all that is in the box. At the bottom.
He fucking did it. Oh no. That, oh my God. God. Oh no. That's so bad.
We insert a balloon.
He did just, and he said the word insert too, didn't he? At the same time. You son of a bitch. Oh no. I am not mature enough for this. I am not mature enough for this. Not on Fridays. Not after a whole week. For those of you that are not aware, that hand gesture means a certain act that is done in it is. Yeah, that's a fisting hand gesture. That's what that is. That is a fisting hand gesture. And he said insert while he did it. In a death penalty case. In death penalty case. At the sentencing phase of a death penalty case, he did the fisting motion while he was saying insert.
Relations that are his and that aren't his. He brings safety to women who are recovering from traumatic relationships. All that is in the box. At the bottom, we insert a balloon. The balloon is this crime. It is this murder. It inflates because it is the chief act within all the acts of that box. The question for you is, how big does the balloon get?
He fisted the box. He fisted the box. He actually said out loud that he fisted the box. He did it via legalese. What the fuck is happening? What is happening? Why is this real? He's fisting a box in front of the jury and he's exploding the box. That's not permissible. That's not allowed. Sir, you went in with the closed fist and then you did the hand expand and you did that. Like it was like, no, you cannot do that in front of a jury where there might be visual thinkers. Don't do that. That's really bad because that's suggestive. Do we want to replay? Do you want to replay? I'm not lying to you. That is actually what happened. And yes, we are talking about a case where the victim was pregnant. So we're putting our fist in a box and exploding. This is everything wrong. There was no forethought. There was no foreplay to any of this for the jury. We're going to talk about it again because this is asking for not death penalty.
Has long-term relationships with them. He supports emotionally and otherwise children that are his and that aren't his. He brings safety to women who are recovering from traumatic relationships. All that is in the box. At the bottom, we insert a balloon. The balloon is this crime. It is this murder. It inflates because it is the chief act within all the acts of that box. The question for you is, how big does the balloon get?
Oh my
Does
God.
it crowd out every other thing in a man's existence to the point where you regard him as almost inhuman and therefore like a cigarette butt or a cockroach?
He's squashed. Did he just squash?
He's not.
Did he just squash the floor like in dramatic fashion? What the fuck is what? Do we need drug tests? Like, you fisted the box. You told the box that it didn't matter how big the fist was. You blew up the fist, and then you squashed the floor. We are 8 minutes in. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. This is a problem. I did not expect this. Okay. We roll.
He's a horrible, horrible killer. And other things too. One of the topics I have written down here is humility. Humility. I recommend humility to myself. I don't always follow. I recommend humility to most people in most circumstances, and I most absolutely recommend it to you here in thinking about this. Why do I say this? Because he made an impression on me. When I sat back while Ms. Minton did all the work early in the case, I was watching and I was listening, and I was very, very impressed with your confidence. How confidently you all said, this one I kill him, this one, I don't know. You're very confident in your ability to make these judgments, and I wonder, in addition to being impressed,
We're back to the Budweiser argument. We're back to the frog argument. What is happening? I am confused. I'm lost. I want help.
I say, how do these people come by this confidence? Do you have education? Do you have experience in this regard? You were on the streets a couple of weeks ago. Now you're in here deciding who lives and who dies. That's correct according to the law. And it's probably good that we don't leave it up to just one person. But I still think you ought to think about how perfectly suited you are to do this. Take a look. think. How do you think? When's the last time or when's the first time any of you thought about how you think? Probably not. It's a thing you do. You put on your shoes, you make a bold.
What the fuck? Wait, hang on. Are we doing thought games? We're doing thought experiments? Are we trying to figure out if there's neurodivergency on the jury? What was that? Why are we making that point? Why do we do that? Some of you have never thought to yourselves of how you thought and how you think. Me, I think about how I think all the thinking time. What the fuck's happening? What is going on? We're doing a thought experiment.
You think. You're thinking all day. Your mind's taking you here and there. How exactly does it work? When have you examined the functioning of your brain? Look at that door right there. Let's use our imaginations. These folks here are essentially asking you to put a target on Jose's back and make arrangements for Death to do his thing with this guy, because the law permits you to do it, and you would decide that's what should be done. So through that door now comes Death. Death is coming in, coming through the gate. Death is right here. I'm asking you to imagine.
Is the Death in the room with us? The lawyer says it is. Is the Death in the room? The Death is in the room with us. Death is right here. Okay. Who did this? Who did this? Who recommended that I look at this? Which one of you is to blame? I gotta make it bigger because we need to see it. It needs to be bigger, apparently. I don't know. Who recommended this? I do not like. Just
Death is right here in the room with us. How many of you perceive Death right here in the room with us as a female? None of you, right? As a child, none of you, right? It was some hulking, some version of the Grim Reaper, right? You have conclusions and ways and things in your brain, and you don't even know how they got in there. Death could be a woman. Death could be a child. It could be a noxious cloud. But you, I'm pretty sure, had Death as a male. In what other ways do you think or make decisions and you're not even exactly sure what? This isn't.
Is Death sexist now? Is Death misogynist? Like what? Why was that point? We are predisposed to think of Death as males? What the fuck is going on? I am so confused. I am so. Death is in the room with us, and Death is a male while he's standing in front of his client. Why are you doing this? Sir, I don't understand. Oh.
Intended to be an abiding decision. Live with you forever. Like your religion, like you love your children, like your sports team, things you don't change. And so if you decide to kill Jose, that means that you are right now, today, knowing how you're going to think forever, right now you're going to lock your brain into an unyielding rigidity that says, kill him. And if someone asks you next year or in 10 years or 20 years, okay, I'll still live with it. That's what it means. And that's why I say you should approach this with some humility.
He literally just said, God damn it, jury, get humble. What the fuck is he talking about? He told the jury to be humble after they convicted his client. Oh, I can't. Oh, no.
I want you to imagine something else. I'm going to call it a spectrum of death. Jose is on. Over here is one end. And I'm at this end and you're at this end and everyone else in this room is at this end because we had no involvement in killing. Never killed anyone. Never thought
What
about it,
the
and
fuck?
certainly didn't engineer it. I mean, heavy duty.
Why are we asking the jury if they've thought about killing anybody? Why are we doing that? What is the point? And why did you call death a spectrum? And why are you placing the jurors on the death spectrum? It's not autism. Like, we're not. What is happening? Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And we're not even halfway done. And I'm like delirious from a week of basically no sleep. So I just find this so funny. I don't know. Oh God. Jury, get humble, be humble. Oh, what's next? Where are we on the death spectrum? I'm getting closer. Yeah, this is I'm gonna laugh myself to death at this. Okay. All right, let's hear what death has to say.
The recommendation that it be done. We are all here, unstained and unsullied by any association with death and killing. Jose is on the spectrum here. Jose is on the spectrum. Let's make this mark on the spectrum where we started with Ashley Minton's questions to you. And the next courtroom over, we got a murder, a first-degree murder who intended to do it. Now, we have a little more than that. We have some aggravators. So Jose's a little further on the spectrum of death. Way out here, the other end of the spectrum of death is our state actors. Your Hitlers, your Stalins, people killed in billions. It's not really relevant to us, but it's out there because what you need to comprehend.
Why are we talking about Hitler? The fuck are we talking about? Why is there a death spectrum? This is not, I did not sign up for that. I did not sign up for a death spectrum. This is the most ridiculous thing. I don't know. You have to compare my guy to Hitler? That's really what we got to do?
And I don't know if it's ever come through in all the system, in all the sessions that we had. How do we decide what is a death penalty case? The people that you send to Tallahassee, when they become genius.
I'm pretty sure the jury right there said, you know, if it looks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. How are we going to know if it's a death penalty case? The jury's like, I mean, I can give you an idea. Oh, he told the jury to be humble, and now the jury's about to tell him to find out. Oh, this is great. This is wonderful. Oh,
Geniuses and philosopher kings, they look at the spectrum of murder, all of it, and say, okay, what are we going to pin it to say what is a death penalty case?
now we have murder spectrums. Murder spectrum.
And so the whole circumstance that we found ourselves in, since the first group came in here on September 2nd, is we are wallowing around in death and talking about death. And the first thing we do before we get to a trial is talk about the death penalty. And you're a jury of Jose's peers. But as you know, from your individual groups, a lot of your peers didn't like the death penalty, but they're on the outside of the door now. So what I'm looking at is a box full of, I won't say killers, but people who are comfortable with it.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hang on. Did you just bitch about the jury you got? Did you just say that literally all of the ones that would have been anti-death penalty are outside and I got stuck with you folks? Are you fucking kidding me? Then you called the jury killers, murderers? No, your client is. Why? This is going to go down as the worst argument I think I have ever heard. Whoa.
You all said many, many times, oh yeah. Up and down the road, well, that's y'all. Yes. You're the same people who just convicted him. And I'm just one guy with some words. And I'm afraid you're kind of roll right through me and try and kill him, but you don't have to. Here's one simple thing. And in thinking about this argument and then making it, I kept coming back to it because I'm a very simple person, possibly a simpleton. And it is this: why would any ordinary, decent person with a conscience orchestrate a death if they don't have to? Why would you make someone die if it's not required?
Oh, no.
And it is not required under any circumstances that you have heard or will hear. If Jose is to die judicially, it's because you did it. You want it to be done. The judge can't do it.
Oh, you did it. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. This guy is, wow. He's calling the jury killers. Oh, my God. He's calling the jury killers. Wow. Wow. This is bad. You're saying they took longer on the death phase than they did on the set on the oh my God. Whew. Okay.
On his own. You have to do it.
Whoop.
And so you.
Do you guys hear the Budweiser frogs yet? Yeah, you do. Okay, good. I'm not the only one. I'm glad I'm not the only one that hears it. Listen to the Budweiser argument.
Judicially, it's because you did it. You want it to be done. The judge can't do it on his own. You have to do it. And so you. I'll use the word contort, but maybe your brains flip right into that position naturally. I say you have to contort yourself and everything you believe and your conscience is to get to a place where you can say, I'm morally comfortable with killing a guy. Let me talk about some of the mitigators. Where's my list of mitigators? There are a lot of mitigators. There are always a lot of mitigators because anything can be a mitigator. And I'm behind the 8 ball. So I'm going to throw a lot of mitigators out there. I don't suggest they're all of equal weight. I don't even consider them all of equal weight.
What? There's a list of mitigators, not all of equal weight. And I don't know what kind of weight to give them. Hey, where's my list of mitigators? I'm going to throw them all at you because I'm behind the 8 ball. Because you got me pinned. You got me down. You got me down solid. Oh, my word. Oh, baby.
But I don't know which one you back there might latch onto. So I'm going to run through them quick. I might highlight a couple of them. This list will be attached to the instructions. It will be part of the instructions that the judge will read you, so you don't have to remember it. There are 29 of them, and some of them strike the same theme. But if Jose was nice to 4 people, I'm going to name them all. As you have heard, as the judge has told you, there's no dispute that Jose has no significant history of prior criminality. That I will highlight for a moment, because that is an extraordinary fact. Do you recognize that? This is a convicted double murderer who did nothing prior.
Why does that make him less bad? He still did like worst crime, like worst one. Why he less bad? Because did not catch him until this one. He planned. It was his girlfriend who was pregnant with his child, 8.5 months pregnant. So I feel like highlighting the that he didn't do a bad thing up until this point isn't really the winning argument.
And I think that's important, and I suggest you should think that's important, because if I'm going to make a heavy recommendation that a judge kill someone, it should be a bad person. It should be a very bad person. It should be a pretty bad person through and through. That's not who Jose is. This is an explosion of violence that comes out of nowhere in his life. It doesn't make it any better. It still makes it a murder, but it doesn't make him the type of utterly useless human who you might want to put down.
He said utterly. He said utterly. He said utterly. This is utterly the worst argument I've ever heard. He is utterly dooming his client to death. This is so bad. He said utterly.
He's not utterly useless. And this is not in keeping with anything that he has exhibited before. And that is very important. Jose was abandoned by his father as a child, raised in chronic poverty. I'm going to stop on that one for a minute because we did discuss that many times and a lot of people in jury selection didn't like it. And remember, we're past the guilt phase. No one is saying, poor Jose, let him go because he grew up in poverty. But poverty brings challenges. That's all I ask you to recognize. You know, we acknowledge.
Can we stop trying to like lean did the podium? Why are we leaning the podium over? Like, why are we pushing it forward? Can we stop that? It looks like there's a microphone on top of it. I mean, I don't think it likes being picked up. Making me nervous.
Acknowledge the importance of two-parent homes and sufficient money to meet our needs, and yet if people don't have that, we really don't cut any slack about it. All I'm saying is consider it as a mitigating factor. He had less than probably you and many others. I don't know exactly what that means. My dad was a school teacher. Jose suffers from transgenerational family trauma. There's problems with the mama, problems with him, problems growing up in Bridgeport with no money. Chronic exposure to trauma during his childhood. The mama seems to remember the house being fine and the neighborhood fine, but it was not fine. You heard from the cousins, this is not a fine neighborhood. It was a violent neighborhood where drugs were dealt on the streets and crime was in the streets and crime was seen. And that's not an ordinary way to grow up. Jose can positively contribute to society in prison as a worker. I don't contend that is an especially weighty concern, but it is a totally relevant concern because remember, where is it? It's life without parole. Look at that. It's like the forgotten option somewhere.
It was in the room with us too. They were both in the room with us the whole time. Like death was in the room and life without the parole. Like they were things. And sir, did you just pick up life without parole like a big, like invisible boulder and put it on the podium? This is a roller coaster of emotions. Life without parole was in the room too, folks.
Well, I'm pulling the dust off it, and it looks pretty good. It looks fine to me. Life without parole. Let's remember, and I will recall to you what you told us also at the same time, within probably 2 seconds of telling us you all can impose the death penalty, you all said you would consider life without possibility of parole. And if you're sitting here now not doing it, you're not following the law and you're not doing your job. If you decided last week he's guilty and you're going to kill him, you're working a charade and a fraud on us right now.
What?
So everybody's mind better be open. You don't have to like what I'm telling you, but you got to listen to it.
You're killers, you're fraudsters, you're liars, you're murderers, you're cheats. All of you jurors. Oh my God. This is wow. Whoa.
And you told us you would consider it. And I'm not exactly striking the tone of a beggar here, but nevertheless, you have a job to do, and I'm going to make sure that you do it. Jose has established and maintains long-term substantive meaningful relationships with friends. Jose has established close family bonds and relationships with his cousins. You know penalties have consequences that ripple if you're going to kill someone. You know that. You heard from the victims of this.
Stop me the podium.
Jose has maintained a close relationship with his mother, maintains close family bonds with his children. You know, that's supposed to be the motive here. And yet he said opportunity galore and never killed anyone. That doesn't mean he didn't do this, he did. But if he is monstrously wrong for killing one child, you can't deny him or deny the existence of the fact.
Okay, so the woman in black behind Jose is his mother. That is his mother, apparently. And he was just talking about how his mother would stick by him through everything. And now mom's getting up. After you talked about murder, about family and murder, why are we doing this? Oh, okay.
Fact that he helped and contributed and lived a meaningful part of his other children's lives for a long time. I don't know if there's a rug back in the jury room, but you would not be doing right to pick up the corner of it and sweep facts you don't like under it. Jose demonstrated exemplary jail behavior. He poses no danger to prison staff or inmates. Again, these are all relevant considerations if he is going to be living for years before execution and living out the rest of his life in prison. How he will do in prison is completely relevant for you to consider. Jose has been a positive influence on family members. Jose will be required to work 40, 60 hours a week. That's every day in DOC. As a prisoner,
Did he just laugh? He just laughed. He just laughed. I feel like me laughing at you and this is very different than you laughing at the jury.
As a prisoner,
He does. He does. He laughs. He fucking laughs.
That's every day in DOC. As a prisoner, Jose's a prisoner. He's been a prisoner for 7 years. When you capture prisoners in war, you don't kill them. It's a war crime. But here, it's okay to kill prisoners. Think about that. You're being asked to kill a prisoner. He's neutered. He's nothing.
Oh my God. What the fuck was that? You're being asked to you're being asked to commit a war crime. We're going to do war crimes? War crimes? Y'all keeping score? Who's keeping score? How many things have we accused the jury of right now? They're killers, they're murderers, liars, they're cheats. They're not the right ones that we wanted. Now, war crimes. Killing prisoners. This is... I don't get it.
He's been in handcuffs and shackles behind bars in a secure jail, guarded 24/7 for more than 7 years. What is the need to kill him? You got that much of an urge? Take him out of his cage and put him down?
Wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are you out of your mind? So now the jurors are killing old Yeller, putting him down. Wow. Oh my God. So terrible. Read the room. There's a room. There's a room. There's a room because you said that death was in it. You also said that life without parole was in it. And you acknowledged that we were in it too. Read it.
He's helpless. He's hopeless. That's enough. Your common sense should tell you, your understanding of the world, at least the United States, should tell you that there's plenty of states that don't have a death penalty at all. And they might say, well, he's a prisoner. You got to kill him. You kill prisoners. That's where your morality is. You kill prisoners. Who's more helpless than the prisoner? Jose was a positive influence on his former girlfriends and their children. Jose can be redeemed.
You did not just say that he was a positive. Oh my God. He was a positive influence on his former girlfriends and their children. They just got convicted of murdering one of his girlfriends and a child. This has got to be the worst argument. Oh my God. Oh, this is so.
For that matter, you know what Jose did 7 years ago. Do you know where his head is at now? If he is taken out in several years and executed, you kill the body, but what is his head? Where will his mind be at? Do you know? Will he be the same person? Because that's how punishment works. Of course, who among us hasn't suddenly snatched up one of our children, put them over our knee, administered a spanking, and said, "That's for what you did 7 months ago." It's not how punishment should work.
So awkward. That was so awkward.
Jose provides support for his children. No prior history of violence, no criminality, no violence. He has helped his former girlfriend and his son's mother escape dangerous domestic violence situations. He has always been a hard worker in manual labor fields, furniture delivery, security work, others. Jose escaped a high crime, high poverty area independently, moving to Florida when he was just 15 years old, and he made it on his own. Despite lacking the opportunity to complete his education, he overcame that lack of education through consistent work ethic. He never took a dime of public money, even though he was just a teenager. And again, that undercuts the argument that he did this killing.
Did you hear the caveat he put on that one? He never took a dime of public money, even though he was a teenager. Because we know those teenagers, they all take the dimes of public money. What the hell? What planet are we on? What planet is he from? Oh, I can't. This is
In any way connected to or for or about pecuniary or financial gain. He's always had to work and always had money. Jose has exhibited excellent courtroom behavior. You probably know that people accused of crimes, especially murderers, especially in long trials and processes, they don't always keep their mouth shut and they don't always behave. Jose has behaved just as he's behaved as an inmate. Jose will continue to offer positive life influence on his children, family members, and friends who have become emotionally dependent on him. He began working and earning money to help support his family at a young age. He's always been self-supporting, as I mentioned, not a drain on society.
No, he just deprived it of one productive member of it and then one future productive member of it. Not a drain on society. Nah, that's just economics. This is horrible.
Some, if not all of those, you should find exist a little more likely than not, and then you are required to consider them. What weight you give them is completely up to you. This part of the process seemed to confuse a lot of your fellow people who didn't make it onto the jury, who kept insisting that the law, they're just going to follow the law. The law is depositing you off here at a crossroads if you don't realize it yet. Okay, you are going to tell the law what will happen here.
Is the law in the room with us? You realize how ridiculous this sounds, right? Are you processing the words, sir, that are up here in your head before they're coming out of your mouth hole? Like, are we thinking about anything that we're saying, or we're just winging it? Like, first thought comes to mind, like you see like a light, you're like, huh, sunshine. Then you're like, oh, door, wood, gallows. Like, what are we why are we this is this is something else. I can't.
Life, forever and ever, until you die and they take you out of prison, or death penalty. The law doesn't tell you.
Also, if in your head you are not singing Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony, just Google it at some point in time. But if you're not singing like Meet Me at the Crossroads, well, if you are, we can be friends, because that's where my brain was and has been, because now it's, and I'm watching his hand gestures, and actually I'll rewind it. I'll rewind it so you can get into that same headspace as I am. Because it kind of goes with the flow. So we'll rewind a little bit. And you tell me if you can meet me at the crossroads.
Didn't make it onto the jury, who kept insisting that the law, they're just going to follow the law. The law is depositing you off here at a crossroads if you don't realize it yet. Okay, you are going to tell the law what will happen here. Life, forever and ever, until you die and they take you out of prison, or death penalty. And the law doesn't tell you which one, but the law does tell you that life without possibility of parole, like the stepchild option in here, is not a stepchild option.
Don't you bring stepchildren into this. Do not bring stepchildren into this. Why is this the stepchild? Why have the stepchildren entered the chat? And do they have red hair? Stepchild. He's adorable. Very handsome. Why is the stepchild in the chat? Like, why are we talking about that? I'm at a crossroads. I'm utterly at a crossroads.
Perfectly good.
Where we're going tonight.
The law gives you a choice because it's perfectly happy with the life. Perfectly happy. And so should you be. It would keep you off the spectrum of death. If you do order and recommend that Jose be killed, you're not outside over here off the spectrum of death. You move a little bit closer to him. You now have
no. The spectrum of death re-entered the chat, and the jury has now moved themselves closer to this fucking asshole. Whoa. Oh no. Spectrum of death. Remember that? Spectrum of death. Oh my God. So the spectrum of death. You, jury, you are now on the spectrum of death, you redheaded stepchildren. This is insane. Oh, all of the idioms, they're all of the idioms, and I don't know how to do with it. And I'm still not feeling well because you can hear the coughing. Son of a bitch.
have some involvement in killing. Not that you'll do it yourself. You'll just set the first domino falling that will result in it. Jurors isolated from the execution. You're making a moral decision, but you're not making it in a vacuum, and don't think because it will happen years down the line and you won't be there and the needle won't be in your hand that you're not responsible.
I have to take Maggie Meg, redheaded stepchildren. I take your point that you believe the redheaded stepchildren are the best stepchildren. Here's what I will say. Every stepchild is the best stepchild. I'm also contractually obligated to say that because I have a blonde stepchild and a redheaded stepchild. So I love all stepchildren because they're wonderful stepchildren. But now let's get back to the lawyer that's telling the juror and calling all the jurors murderers. Let's get back to that. Logic.
Responsible. That's my point to you. You are responsible. The prison's far away. You're still responsible if it happens. Well, someone else in the state's employ, the state executioner, will do it. So your hands will be dirty, but it's your handiwork that will be done. So don't think of it as just, you making a death recommendation is like dropping some instructions off on your secretary's desk as you leave for a long weekend.
Bro, if there is a single female on that jury, that is under the age of 20, they are no longer with you. Like, bye, see them later, bye. No, are you fucking kidding me with that? Like dropping instructions off on your secretary's desk. Sorry, death was on the mind because death penalty. Oh, it's mostly women. Wonderful idea. Wonderful idea. This. That's a choice. That was a choice. Wonderful. We are in the, death is absolutely in the room. It is there. It is there. It's probably very, very close to his client. Like just hanging on. Whoo.
It is not that. Victim impact statements. We heard from several members of Tanya's family. Her mother, I suggest, especially, and her son.
Not very objectionable. Why is no one objecting? No, I don't think this is very sentencing is not the same as making arguments for legal. And with this one, you are allowed to argue the morality of this. You are allowed to argue the morality of the death penalty. That's actually why we task juries with doing this. Like it's why the option is given to the jury of your peers. You are making the moral argument. Now, maybe there's a better way of making that moral argument than to call all the jurors like, I don't know, killers. That there's a more effective way of making this argument. But you are allowed to argue the morality of the decision. You're allowed to try and make the other person feel guilty for doing what they're going to do. You can't do that in sentencing because their feeling of the possible punishment cannot impact their determination of whether something did or did not happen. But in sentencing, all of this is fair game. Let me put it this way. Let's say hypothetically you were arguing sentencing to a judge. You could tell the judge that the judge would be wrong and horrible and a monster if they sentenced your client to 10 days in the jail or 20 days in jail or 50 years in jail. Judge, you would be a horrible human being if you did that. You're absolutely allowed to tell a judge that, 100%. You know what the judge is going to do? Probably say, bet. Okay. Now, just because I can make the stupid argument that the judge is dumb and mean and a horrible person if he sentences my client to the death penalty. Bad judge, you terrible. Why? Just because I can make that stupid argument, I don't. So there is what is allowed, and then there's what you should or should not do. This is just, there was a train, and I don't even think it started the same planet of the train track that this thing would have been on. We're lost.
I thought testified very impressively for his mother. And it may not matter coming from me, but I'm quite certain his mother is proud of him and would be proud of him. But I hate victim impact statements, not for the reason you probably think. Because in fact, I love victim impact statements done right. Victims should have a voice. They should be heard, especially in crimes.
Hold on. Because it sounds like, I mean, I am not pretending like I can tell the future, but the way you framed that opening statement, like of, I am a fan of victim impact statements, but then you did like a quasi little frog voice, like when done right. It feels like just a little bit you're about to maybe victim blame. Like you're about to say that the victim impact statements maybe shouldn't have happened the way they did, or maybe they were wrong. It just sounds like you're going there. I would be I'll be very happy if you don't do that. But the thoughts in my head.
Violence, and especially in loss of life cases. I think victim impact statements should be published in the newspaper, and court administration should pay for it. They should have a voice. But here in this process, that voice is best expressed to the judge with experience, not to the jurors with none. Because within this tight process that you're following that might lead to someone's death, in comes these victim impact statements, and where do they fit into the process? They do not. What will the judge tell you? Well, the purpose is to establish the uniqueness of the victim and the impact on the family and community. Who would dispute that a murder victim is unique? Everyone in here. We're all the same and all exactly different. Of course, Tanya Wise is unique and special and has special characteristics and qualities.
Yo, you are starting counsel. You are starting that really, really, really bad habit where you're you're not verbally saying the but the inflection of your tone and the cadence of your speaking is such that we can all hear it, like being said, even though you're not saying it. Because you keep doing these sentences where you're like, victim impact statements are great. Like you can read the but in there, right? Like you can hear it out loud in your heads. I'm not the only one. He just did that with victim. Like this person was unique. Everyone read it aloud in your heads. You got it. But I feel like we're gonna get the but.
But the only thing that you're instructed to do is not regard it as an aggravator. Well, what are you hearing it for then? It for sure ain't no mitigator. Every single one of those statements is like an emotion bomb, a sympathy grenade going off, bespattering the walls with sympathy. Not for my guy. In fact, it is so much seeming like an aggravator that you have to be told it's not an aggravator. So that's one thing I don't like about it, that it's dropped in here unfairly. It operates against me and my client, but what am I supposed to do with it? What are you supposed to do with it? It's not a...
Sorry. Why are we doing that hand gesture? This is... I just remembered friends like Joey. This hand gesture, this one right here. Why are we doing that? How did this come up?
Unfairly. It operates against me and my client, but what am I supposed to do with it? What are you supposed to do with it? It's not an aggravator, and you're only supposed to be deciding the case on aggravators and mitigators. So what are you supposed to do with it? And the other reason I don't like it is because it lends itself to being a victim ranking system. If Tanya Wise had no family whatsoever to come in here for her and give victim impact statements, is her life and her murder any less important thereby? No. If Tanya Wise was the chief of surgery at the local hospital and saved hundreds of lives through her surgical skills, would that make a difference? It should not. One man one vote, one murder victim, all the same. They're all the same.
Wait. You did not. One man, one vote, one murder victim. They're all the same. What the fuck is happening? This is wild. I don't know what is happening.
At the local hospital and saved hundreds of lives through her surgical skills. Would that make a difference? It should not. One man, one vote, one murder victim, all the same. They're all the same.
No, they're not. They're not. They're so very much not. If I'm listing things that are the same, one man, one vote, one murder is not ending up in that list. They are not the same. Oh my God. One man, one vote, one murder. That's what we're going to allow. Just God. Oh. Ooh, I'm dying.
Every life is valued the same. No life is valued more than another. If Tanya had nobody to come, if that whole segment was not here at all, okay, it's victim impact time. No one say here. So what are you supposed to do? She must not be worth very much, right? Or look, it's 100 people come in. She must be worth so much. It's a victim ranking system. It stinks. Everyone's the same. No one deserves to be killed, no matter who you are. And so I don't like it for that reason. Look, this case is loaded with emotion from top to bottom. And that's just a gigantic injection of it. And for what? I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with it, and you can't be sure either because it doesn't fit in. It's not an aggravator or a mitigator. That's what we're doing here. We're weighing aggravators and mitigators. We're figuring out factors of his character that might lead you to not kill him.
My guess is the jury kind of said none. They might have just said none. Like, we don't find anything. And Lindsay makes the point, and in today's version of Lawyers Who Make Me Miss Lolly, you know, Adam Lolly got a bad rap. Yeah. Like Queen, we had talked about how he was able to talk to the jury like that. And I just say, guys, this has to be grounds for ineffective counsel. No, it's not. This is a strategy. This is a strategic decision. It is the wrong strategy, but it is a strategic decision. Shanta, I believe that Donna Adelson's defense counsel would be insulted, and I wouldn't blame them. The defense attorney is as good as Jackie Fulford for Donna Adelson. I don't know. I feel like Jackie might have made some, like a half a point, just really loud. Yo quiero queso. Me too. Actually, right now, I'm very hungry. The intrusive thoughts won. They took over. That's where we are. Chris and M96, whoever said we need a robbery action, thank you. Scott, Laura, I mean, a bunch of you guys were very much there. Vez, Rob's face is priceless. Oh, I'm very much struggling here. Laura Leanne, anyone else picturing a baby Grim Reaper? There's a lot of things in the room with us right now.
That Tanya is unique. That her family is mourning. That there's a void that won't be filled. Yes. But that's not the point. The point is that she is a person who should be alive and is not now, due to Jose's criminality. Who she is important, but it's important outside of this process. Here's another one of my little topics that I wrote. This is not a fixable situation. You know that. I'm just gone for 7 years now, which is why I never had a chance. Never began.
What the fuck?
Whether he is in
You're literally going to focus on a baby's life that was never a baby that was not allowed to be a child. You're going to say that? Like, you're going to say that?
prison, Jose, for the rest of his life, or whether he gets taken out at some point and injected to death, whatever they put in there. Tanya and Josiah will not come back. It can't be made right. And we, you, me, that just doesn't fit right. And then I think it especially doesn't fit right for Americans because we don't, okay, what are we going to do about it? Let's do something.
Wait, hang on. Was that self-motivation or were you talking to the jury? Was that an internal reflection that kind of crept out? Or were you actually talking to the jury? What the hell? I got to see that real time. Oh, we are at normal time. That was normal? That was normal? That was not normal. It was the opposite of normal.
Me, it just doesn't fit right. And then I think it especially doesn't fit right for Americans because we don't, okay, what are we going to do about it? Let's do something. There's nothing meaningful that can be done. If there are people rooting for the death of Jose, I don't know that there are. If that day comes, they may experience a moment or a day of satisfaction, but I think the next day after, the heaviness and the sadness of the loss is still there. It's undiminished. That's the fact.
Wow.
He lives or dies is less important than the loss that cannot be made right. Killing him won't fix it. It won't fix it.
Oh, he made it quasi good. There, that's the first logical argument he has made. How long? 36 minutes. 36 minutes and 38 seconds in. 36 minutes and 38 seconds is the first logical argument that he did. First one. Killing him does not bring back the lives of the individuals that are lost. Nothing can bring that person back. Executing this individual does nothing further towards restoring their presence in the lives of everyone else around. That's the first borderline. Like that's the first point that's fair game in this discussion.
Right, that's the fact. He lives or dies is less important than the loss that cannot be made right. Killing him won't fix it. It won't fix it. It won't take the pain away. Let's talk about something that we mentioned in jury selection.
Why do we go to a game show? You make a solid point. You make the solid point. You make it very well. And then all of a sudden, it's like The Price is Right is being announced. Like you are saying killing this person will not bring this other person back. And now on to our next game. If I had access to that podium and could bolt the fucking thing to the ground, I would do that. But
let's talk about something that we mentioned in jury selection. Which, by the way, does it seem that Ms. Minton, that poor Ashley did so much of the work here in this case, and I did relatively so little? That's my fault. Here's a little inside baseball for you. This is my case. I am lead attorney in the case, and Ms. Minton works for me, so to speak, under my supervision.
Why are we doing it?
And I could have done everything, or I could have done nothing. But like I told you yesterday, I waited a long time for my chance to speak to you. And the detective.
Why? Why? Are you the old wise owl who is now going to impart his wisdom? I waited this whole long while so that you could make the right choice and that I could come address you. This me, wise person, secretly the leader of this entire case from the very beginning. Allow me to now impart my wisdom upon you, which I withheld from you. Because why give it to you during the trial when I knew you were going to convict my client and I could persuade you now? Does this sound so like, does it also have like this random tone of like a little bit of like, I don't know, chauvinism? Like, just like, I was the lead counsel the whole time. I did so very little. Why was I even in the room? Because this young lady next to me is my subordinate. I could have taken this case over at any point in time. So mad. So mad.
Just a moment before I would figure it out, because I knew I would be here. I knew there would be a penalty phase. And I figured that this would be the hottest part of the trial for Mr.
Stop fucking with the podium, sir. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Also, stop telling the jury that you knew your guy was guilty and that you knew you would be there. Stop. Shut up. Also, don't be like, I'm coming in to save this other attorney who did all the fucking work because I knew this would be the hard shit.
Mr. Jose Soto Escalera. And so I figured that this ought to be my post of duty and not Miss Ashley's post of duty. But everything that has transpired in this courtroom has been done with my knowledge and my approval from the defense side of things. And you know what? You know why? Maybe you're thinking, well, hey, Attorney Burns, what'd you drag us to a trial for if you figured you guy was guilty already? Because they're trying to kill my guy.
Yes, I was actually thinking that. The juror, actually, I just referenced that the jury was probably thinking that. Like, when you said it back then, they were probably thinking of, if you knew he was guilty, why are we here? This is so bad.
And they're going to cross every T and dot every I before they get to do that.
Ow! Wow!
Late in a losing game, a losing effort, the final seconds click off the clock. The quarterback doesn't drop back in the pocket and take a knee and give up. He heaves the ball as far as he can and hopes for a miracle. Do you think?
All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. Oh my God. We are now making the football analogy. The quarterback, when they're down at the end of the game, they don't drop back and take a knee, Johnny. They don't. They don't drop back and take a knee. They throw it to the end zone on a whim and a prayer. At least they did in my day when I knew everything. What the shit? All right. This is now my lesson of how not to litigate. This is now, I am now going to force my associates to watch this video and just They write a list of everything that they did wrong.
I think you are the only ones who can read and understand and appreciate and see evidence and what it means.
Wise. Wise. I can't not hear it. I just can't not hear it anymore. It's just
The quarterback doesn't drop back in the pocket and take a knee and give up. He used the ball as far as he can and hopes for a miracle. Do you think you are the only ones who can read and understand and appreciate and see evidence and what it means? I've been doing this for a long time. Whatever you can do in that regard, I can do better. I knew I would be here.
whoa. What the fuck did you just say to the jury? I know that you were in your own head. You were in your own head thinking about your own personality, because when you said that out loud, you said whatever you could do, I could do better, because you were talking about how you got to where you are. But what you did inadvertently was you pointed at the jury when you said it. So instead of us being in your head, like the little reflection, like introspection that you're doing there, where it's like, whatever you can do, I can do better. That's my mentality, how I live my life and how I got here. What you intended to be the internal monologue actually came out as an outward projection and communication. So what you said was you actually looked at the jury and you were like, whatever you can do, I can do better, which is not the tone you want to take. He is not, you do not want to take that tone. Oh my gosh.
And we make no apology. Whatever you can do in that regard, I can do better. I knew I would be here. And we make no apologies for fighting every step of the way, including now. And frankly, I feel like I'm in the last ditch, maybe fighting you all off, and I got nothing but a rusty sword in my hand, a slingshot, nothing but words. And I really.
Now they're trying to kill you too? First, they're trying to kill your client, and now you're fighting him off, and all you have is words against their big, mean swords. You just got your little rusty sword. 1,000 bad guys with swords. This is. I am.
I really don't want you to kill my guy. But we're going to talk now about mercy. I hear some of your voices. I hear them.
For those of you who looked away, look back. Look back. Stop. I will give you the benefit of this replay.
To kill my guy. But we're going to talk now about mercy. I hear some of your voices. I hear them from here saying, oh, counsel. Attorney Burns, I was kind of half with you, sort of paying attention up to this point, but mercy for this guy? Mercy. You may, if you hearken back just a few weeks, you will recall when Miss Ashley was addressing this topic.
Do not sully the word hearken for me, sir. Do not take that from me. You can take utterly every other word. Do not take hearken from me. If you ruin that word for my closing arguments from now on, I will be so upset. You can have utterly everything else. Do not take hearken.
Mercy. You may, if you hearken back just a few weeks, you will recall when Miss Ashley was addressing this topic with you. The point that was attempted to be made and the distinction to be made is how does mercy work? Does the guy who gets it have to earn it? People who give it just give it. The concept, I believe, that was attempted to be taught to you, and there's not really much time in that classroom where you have to address 20 other matters.
Your client does not look very merciful right now. He looks very not merciful, and he looks not very merciful with the closing argument or the argument that you're making. He looks rather upset. He looks like, just saying, if I had an opinion, it looks like he has opinions about this argument.
Is that mercy is always in the power of the victor. Weak people, losers, don't get to grant mercy. People who have power get to grant mercy. And so, whether it's withheld or granted, has very little to do with the recipient and very much to do with you, the grantors. It's a statement of who you are.
Oh no, they're shitty people. Okay, this is where we're going. You're gonna call them shitty people because they don't want to grant mercy. This is good. Good decisions. There were good decisions made. I don't know when.
And so, if any of you are still even within earshot on this issue of mercy, you need to just consult yourself and say, look, am I a merciful person or not? What does mercy mean in this case? The merciful thing is to condemn Jose to live for decades and decades and decades in prison behind bars until he dies. To become institutionalized and infantilized over time and be told when to go to bed and when lights on and lights out and when to eat and not to eat and look through bars and never get out. If I imprison you guys in your old high schools, how long would it be before you went crazy? He'll be in a prison. That's, most people would not consider that a merciful result, but that's what mercy means here. So it's not a great big fat dollop of mercy, go forth, Jose. It's a little drop of mercy that says, I'm going to kill you. That's all the mercy that would be requested here.
Oh, good. So you're just asking, like you're now just asking the person. You're playing and saying the jury are the killers, and you're asking for that mercy, like don't kill me, please don't kill me. I will be not. This is going great.
Let me take you back a couple of days. And I'm going to read you some words that Judge Merman read to you in describing the elements of first-degree murder. And then I'm going to make an argument from that by reworking those words a little bit. None of what I say to you is a legal instruction. It's just an argument. It's just food for thought. Killing with premeditation is killing after consciously deciding to do so.
Oh, fuck you. Oh my God, I know where you're going. Oh my God, I know where you're going. Oh no. Fuck you. Yeah, I know where you're going with this. Oh, you son of a bitch. No fucking way. No, he's not. You are not doing this. Who's with me? What's he doing? Why would he pull out the statutory elements for murder in the first degree? Why would he do that? Why would he actually go back through and say, this is what you just found my guy guilty of? How horrible he is that you thought he was. These are the elements that were established as to his conduct that you found to be murder. Let me rephrase those elements in the context of what you are being asked to do here today. Each one of these elements you will have undertaken, and you will have murder on your hands. Guilty of first-degree murder, but permissive. Am I right? Am I close? He really is going to do that. Oh, no. Oh my God. I hope I'm so wrong. Like you can get off this train, counsel. This is not the way. This is fucked up.
The decision must be present in the mind at the time of the killing. The law does not fix the exact period of time that must pass between the formation of the premeditated intent to kill and the killing. The period of time must be long enough to allow reflection by the defendant. The premeditated intent to kill must be formed before the killing. That's what the judge read to you. Now I want to change it up a little bit.
I don't think I want to hear you change it up. I think because I feel like you changing it up is going to make it kind of conflate a little bit. I get the point you're making a little bit, but it's a societal point. This is a tough one. This is absolutely a tough one.
Killing with premeditation is killing after consciously deciding to do so. The decision must be present in the mind of each juror at the time of engineering the killing. The law does not fix the exact period of time that must pass between.
Uh-huh. Yep. He just suggested that the jury was committing a criminal offense. That you knew it was coming, right? Second he signposted that. Let me rework these elements that you just found my guy guilty of. So here's the distinction. You can argue the morality. You can argue the morality of whether it is morally right, morally wrong to impose the death penalty and the penalty phase. You cannot argue that it would somehow be illegal. The legality. I want to hear it too, Katja. I want to hear it too. Adrian Angevine, I am apoplectic. If I was on this jury, not only is this defendant's fate sealed, but I'd ask the judge, can we set the attorney with him right now? Well, this is. Yeah, this is terrible. The judge is probably like, you do know what you're doing, right? While they're sidebar, Dorothy, whoa, thanks for becoming a member. Playing a little bit of catch up. I did want to. There's a couple of things here. This whole thing, he's throwing a tantrum. I'm practicing. Yeah. This is a meltdown or a crash out. I think the kids call it a crash out these days. Val, over under odds that Miss Ashley be back there submitting a resume to jobs right now. I don't know. Would you want the letter of recommendation? I sat back and observed this entire trial, knowing that the person was guilty the whole time. This is a rough one. I'm not sure I'm equipped for this. I really don't. Henhouse Bath Company, I wanted to call this out earlier. Congratulations. Well, I mean, not the scare part. Off topic and late. Had a scare this week, but an ultrasound was normal today, and I remain cancer-free. Congratulations on being cancer-free and remaining that way. I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for the scare. The fear and anxiety never stop, but I'm dancing this Friday. Fuck cancer. Fuck cancer and the horse you rode in on. Absolutely. They do finish this argument eventually, right? Like they wrap it up. That's a long ass sidebar. It's the longest. Why?
You may continue.
Right. What I'm saying to you is the process that you are relying on should be pretty ironclad. It should be clear. You should be able, if you're going to decide as jurors to impose the death penalty, to plant your foot on one firm piece of ground after another, all the way through to that decision. And if there's something strange that comes into that process, you should consider it. You should weigh that. Because as Ms. Minton told you in jury selection, this is a moral decision that you make as individuals. And it should be based.
See, you're allowed to question the morality. You just can't say that they're doing something unlawful.
Based on a system that you understand and that you can follow. I am going to talk about what you've been asked to do last week and what you're asked to do now. And I'm going to do a compare and contrast. At no point am I suggesting that anything you do or might do is illegal.
See, I kind of told you. It's funny. It's like the telling in the future. It's like seeing what they can do and they can't do. When he gets back up and he's like, I'm not saying that what you're about to do is illegal. No, I was never saying that. I was just reading the elements to you to suggest that it was a moral complication.
I am not asking that anything you do or not do is in any way related to you being murderers or illegal killers or equating you in any moral way with Jose.
You know, it's a really good way to tell for the jurors to find out like what the objection was. When you go back out and you repeat the objection in a very sarcastic tone, like a child, indicating that you lost the objection. Just saying.
But you were asked last week to convict a man because he thought about doing a killing beforehand and did it. What are you being asked to do?
Objection, again, improper argument.
Yeah.
Differences.
I'll complete the thought and I'll rule on the objection if there is one.
The process that is before you, if you follow the instructions and carry it out and think about it, means that you're thinking about forming the intention to ask the judge, recommend the judge to kill Jose. So in this circumstance, it's righteous, right? So sometimes thinking real hard about doing a killing is okay. If you're comfortable with that. If you should go back there and either more of you decide independently, and by the way, this is an independent thing. I don't say you can't talk to one another or nothing like that. But so far you have kind of walked the path together. Jury selection.
This is please God, just realize you don't have to all agree. Like a couple of you, if you feel strong, you can not tell anybody you disagree, and then we're good.
You get on the jury, you hear the evidence, you made your decision, and now all of you stand here at the point together. But you sort of come up the stem or the base of a Y, and now you're at the V part and you're looking at the crossroads. That's where the law has deposited you now. And I have acknowledged that the state has demonstrated that there are aggravators. And as I told you, the gate is open for you to kill. And I recommended humility. I recommend you don't go down that path. I wonder, with that gate open, I don't actually think so looking at you, but if any of you might, an hour and 5 minutes or 10 minutes regard it as some sort of a temptation. No one gets to.
Really? Some of you want to kill, right? Some of you will want to kill. If you open that gate, you will want to kill.
be in your position, very few people to say, live or die. Look at here he is, live or die, it's up to you. It might be tempting. Walk the path that people don't get to walk. It's a forbidden path, highly forbidden. But it's open to you. If you should find it alluring or tempting in any way, the forbidden fruit of control over someone's life or death, you're not in the Garden of Eden being tempted. You're in the Valley of Death being tempted. Walk out of it. Go away. Take the other path. Do not do any killing that is not absolutely required, and this is not required ever.
Wow. Whoa.
Sometimes large matters can be understood in the simple ways and things that might happen all of a sudden. And you don't even know it until it happens. And one of those, I'm going to hang with me here if you can on this example, is I've called it lean in, lean out. Lean in, lean out. People, they lean in, they like something. They lean out when they don't. Lean in to give that first kiss. Hopefully someone's leaning back. Maybe they're not. Maybe they get to lean back. Never happened to me, of course. But I use the example in this way. If you are a juror who votes to impose the death penalty, and you should remember this is the binding decision. You're good with it now, you're good with it tomorrow, you're good with it forever. You should end up in conversation with someone, the topic comes up. And what did you do? I voted to kill him. Whoa. You're gonna get the whoa. You're not gonna get the what? And the person hasn't even had a chance to think about it. It hasn't penetrated to the consciousness of that hearer at all. But you're gonna get this, you're gonna get a drawback and a whoa because you just admitted to them that you're on the spectrum. You're on the killing spectrum. You're not over here. The rest of us having nothing to do with it.
Sir, choice of words, please. Choice of words. When you, no one ever uses the phrase killing spectrum. So when you say that you're on the spectrum, no one is equating that with like you're on the murder spectrum. No, I don't generally think that when someone is calling me on the spectrum or saying on the spectrum, they're not like being like you're on the murder spectrum. No.
You just said, yeah, I set a man up to die. And that doesn't get up. That gets up. Think about that. This is a big decision. Yeah, I'm just about done. I'm running out of juice.
Did you just react to the jury like running out of juice?
This afternoon, after having come back and given us your decision, you will now be a life giver or a life taker. You're not going to be the same. If you vote to set the wheels in motion, to give a heavy recommendation to this judge to kill this man,
You will be forever changed.
you're not going to be the same.
There will be a moral cloud over you forever.
This is a life taker. You are not.
Don't be this asshole.
Leave the life taker alone on the spectrum of death. Don't take a step nearer to him. You don't have to.
Oh my God.
I invite you in my final words to
Are they?
consult your
final?
best selves, the highest portions of your consciousness, the lightness in your heart, not the darkness in your heart. To rot and die in prison is not merciful. It is a horrible, horrible sentence. Do that to him. Thank you.
Oh my God. What what was any of that? None of that made sense. None of that was logical. What's the quote from Billy Madison? Like, we are all now dumber for having been forced to listen to that. So that was like the fastest. How long did they deliberate on that for the death penalty? I just had this open. Where is come on. Soto Escalera. $1 hour and 15 minutes, and it was a vote of 8-4. So he was sentenced to the death penalty. So what that means is that there's an economic cost to that. He's going to have all these different appeals. He's going to keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. I mean, they recommend the death penalty. So that was the fastest, worst argument I think I've heard in a long time. So that's pretty wild. So thank you to Recovery Addict Scott for pointing us in that direction. That is wild. I don't know how I feel about any of that. I was, like I said, supposed to be light topics this evening. That was not a light topic. That was deep and dark. And I feel conflicted. I don't know. I'm anti-death penalty. I don't like death penalty for anybody. Like, I don't really have exceptions. I couldn't be on that jury. That's the other thing. Maybe I was mistaken when I made that point. In order for a jury to be impaneled in a death penalty, when he was talking about the people that weren't willing to commit or weren't willing to invoke the death penalty, you cannot serve on a case where the death penalty is on the table if you are like fundamentally morally opposed to it. You have to have an event. You have to be open to death penalty in order to actually serve on that jury. Precursor there. So, well, we are all matter. And when I say matter, I don't mean like matter, I mean, maybe I do. Maybe I do mean like angry, but I also mean like mad, like the Mad Hatter. I'm a little confused about how I feel there. But that's where we are. Okay, let's play catch up. Yeah, we got to laugh a bit. All right. So get caught up on super chats and we'll get to our next topic. I think next we're going to cover the ChatGPT stuff. No, we'll do Reese's. We'll do Reese's because I don't understand how the case has been going on for that long. All right. So let's get caught up. Celebrio running late tonight. Happy Friday, folks. Happy Friday to you. Juniper. Don't worry, it gets worse. It did. It got a lot worse. And we were all along the ride. It was wild. It was up. It was down. It was everywhere in between. A lot of it. Very conflicted. Ohio Pop Mom. How did he say these statements with a straight face? I don't know. No, I do know how we just watched it. He yelled it at the jury. Whisk Brand, thanks for being a member. Reticent, thanks for becoming a member. Nicole Watson, thanks for becoming a member. Isaiah, thank you very much. Don't talk about bottoms and inserting, please. I didn't do it. He did. He fisted the bottom of the box. That's what he did. He fisted the bottom of the box and the balloon inflated. That was how he started this argument. It was a long way. Shay B, hey, good to see you. Thank you for gifting 50 gifted memberships. Very, very, very kind. Happy Annie. And it gets worse and worse the whole way through. It did, right up until the end. All the way. There was not a letdown. Brexit, Dominatrix. Yes, he did that. Cross Stitch 626. Thanks for remember. 3 years, 36 months. Hello, Nick. Will he finish with Danny Crane? No, he finished with you are morally bad. Don't do this. Fluffy Buddy, thanks for being a member. Camilla Juliana, thanks for becoming a member. Lady Fang, please tell me he mentioned Kintsugi. No, Kintsugi got left out of that argument. It was not a part of that. Thank God. Lindsay, why is his tie weirdly appropriate for this argument? I mean, outdated? I don't know. It was on point. Shanta, I wonder what his co-counsel is thinking. Hopefully, she's not looking at him as a mentor. I don't know. There were some facial expressions that were being offered or being had. I think just what the fuck over and over and over again would be my thought process. DNB, Jesus take the wheel. Jesus take the argument out of his hands. I would like that instead of taking the wheel. Just the argument not anywhere in that courtroom. Chris Cat Queen, how difficult does this appeal for innocence get with his defense attorney telling everyone he's a life taker? Can't be on a death penalty case, so against it. No, that the guilt determination and what he argues after that determination doesn't matter at all. So Luna Dewdrops, wait, what ChatGPT stuff? Opinion from the California Court of Appeals that was sanctioning some lawyers rather harshly. That ChatGPT stuff. And that opinion came down on the 12th. Yeah, 12th. So I'll cover that a little bit. All right. So we shall swoop and we'll cover Reese's. So I saw this because, well, the mods brought it to my attention and I wasn't aware of it. I had not seen it. And of course, the end of the day rolls around and I am very eager because Mini Mischief 1 is asking me before going to bed, what am I covering? And I was like, I'm covering a really cool case. Actually, this one involves Hershey's. And she looks up and she goes, is it the Reese's one? She's 11. And I was like, wait a minute, what? How do you know about this? Mischief goes, yeah, how do you know about this? Oh, I saw it in the news. It's the shit out of me. I don't know. And then it was, well, what is it? You know, it's the thing where the Halloween Reese's, and I pick up this. You know, it looked like it was pumpkins, but they said it wasn't. Fuck. Okay. All right. So I haven't read the opinion yet, but I figured it'd be fun to do because the case was filed as a class action. Here, we'll do this. Let me bring this over into view for everybody so that we can all partake and share. Right? That's the way we do things. That's how we want to do it. Let's see. And make sure I can share the screen properly. Why not? And bring this in. I did swoop, right? I swooped. I did. I swooped. Let's do that. So we have the ruling, but we start with the complaint, the original complaint. Nathan Vidal. Why is like something's beeping? I can't hear it, but it's driving me nuts. People are begging for another swoop. Sure, why not? I can do that. Another. Okay. So Nathan Vidal, Deborah Kinnick, Abdul Martin, and Eduardo Granados on behalf of themselves and others similarly situated. So this is a class action lawsuit against the Hershey Company. So the plaintiffs brought this complaint, and it was filed all the way back May 17, 2024. So about a year ago, a year and some months. Rather than really going into that and the complaint itself, we don't need to because we actually have an opinion. It was entered by the court. It looks like the 19th, so just over a week ago. And this opinion was the order that granted the motion to dismiss brought by the defendants. Well, why? Why, Judge? Why was this granted? Why was this matter dismissed? This cause is before the court on the defendant, the Hershey Company's motion to dismiss the class action complaint pursuant to Federal Rules of Procedure 12B1, 12B6, so fails to state a cause of action. The court has reviewed the motion to dismiss in the parties' briefing, the applicable law and the relevant portions of the record, and is otherwise fully advised. The reasons set forth below the motion to dismiss is due to be granted. So, factual allegations. The plaintiffs initiated a class action against the defendant, Hershey, claiming they were misled in the packaging of certain Hershey's products. See, generally, this thing. Focus. Focus. That thing. See? I found one. Is it expired? Yeah. Am I going to eat it on stream? Probably. I don't know. But that. All right. So we bought, that was what the plaintiffs bought that they were so mad about. That is, plaintiffs claim they bought chocolate products that they thought included cool carved designs, but were disappointed when the products did not include those designs, and therefore, in their view, were not so cool. The judge is pissed. It's like, you bought the thing that you thought was cool and it wasn't cool, and now we want a monetary value for that. Awesome. As alleged in the complaint, Hershey manufactures, markets, and distributes Reese's peanut butter products, including the Reese's peanut butter pumpkins pictured below. That's a lovely photograph. 170 calories per package, 1.2 ounces. And look, the Reese's peanut butter cup is in the shape of a pumpkin, but it has little cutout things. Like you can see the jack-o'-lantern. On October 29, 2023, the plaintiff, while shopping at Publix grocery store, saw the Reese's peanut butter pumpkins for sale and believed that the product contained a cool-looking carving of a pumpkin's mouth and eyes as pictured in the product packaging. That's awesome. Mr. Vidal alleges that, based on the depictions of the product package, he purchased 3 bags of these things at approximately $8 each. Oh, God. This can be great. They complain that Reese's peanut. Come on. Oh, I was trying to scroll on the tab rather than actually there. They claim that Reese's peanut butter pumpkins and Reese's white pumpkins he purchased did not contain any of the artistic carvings of the mouth or eyes as pictured on the label, and they were all blank, as shown below. The horror, the absolute travesty in my head, and the heartburn that I have realizing that this poor soul bought 3 bags of this. 3 bags. My gosh, $8 a piece. My word. And they had these really cool things, but when he opened them, they looked blank. Claims he was very disappointed and would not have purchased the pumpkins, because if he knew that they did not have the detailed carvings of the mouth and or the eyes as pictured on the product's packaging. Oh my God. Good. Complaint, meet son. Bye. Get out of here. I don't want to see you anymore. Just. Similarly, they allege that while shopping at Publix, he saw the pumpkins for sale, believed that the product contained cool-looking carvings. So again, same facts. Oh my gosh, there's another person in a jurisdiction, another person that saw the bag and was like, you know what? I really want these carved pumpkins. Damn it, they're not carved. I am now disappointed. This is now less cool. He was very disappointed. He would not have purchased them if he knew that they didn't have the detailed carvings. Oh my gosh, shocking. My word. Horrible. Give me my $8 back and let me certify a class that is probably hundreds of thousands of people. Give them $8 back for every bag. And let me get, as the lawyer, 30% of all of the $8 that I recover from Hershey's. Oh. On May 17, 2024, the plaintiffs filed a class action complaint on behalf of themselves and a proposed class of consumers who purchased one of these products in the state of Florida, alleging a single cause of action for violation of Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act. My gosh, there was just so much deception. Specifically, the plaintiffs allege that they and numerous other consumers purchased the pre-seized products with the reasonable expectation that the products would look similar to the pictures displayed on the product's packaging. That's a lot of P's in that sentence. According to the plaintiff's allegations, Hershey's has deceived reasonable consumers like plaintiffs and members of the class into believing the products were something that they were not. They're so deceptive. So deceptive. They further allege that they are members of a purported class. A class of individuals who suffered damages amounting to, at a minimum, the price that they paid for the products. Oh, I swear. You know what else I thought? I thought when I bought the package that there would be the bite already taken out of my Reese's. And I'm disappointed that there was not already a bite taken out of my Reese's. So we're very sad about that. On September 4th, 2024, Hershey's filed a motion to dismiss, now before the court. File a response on September 18th, 2024. And on, let's see, there was a reply on September 25th. The motion to dismiss was fully briefed and ripe for adjudication. This court addresses it below. On February 21st, 2025, plaintiffs filed a motion for class certification asserting they have satisfied all the requirements of Rule 23A to certify a class of consumers who bought these horrible peanut butter pumpkins. Oh. They filed a response to the motion for class certification, and on April 11th, the plaintiffs filed their reply. While the motions were pending, 2 of the 4 plaintiffs voluntarily dismissed their claims against Hershey, and therefore plaintiffs Vidal and Granados are the only remaining named plaintiffs. You know, when you're trying to certify a class and you say, look, there's a whole class of individuals who are injured by this and are willing to sue, and then 2 of the 4 people that brought the case are like, nah, bro, I'm done. You're not really suggesting to the court that this is proper for certification. I'm just saying. May 14th, the parties also filed a joint motion to stay pending resolution of defendant's motion to dismiss and plaintiff's motion for class certification. They're all pending. The motion to dismiss. In the motion to dismiss, Hershey's argues, oh my gosh, this is actually a good point. Nebraska Jeff, I just saw this. My daughter gets mad because Uncrustables have crusts, according to her. They do. They are sealed on the edges. That's a crust. But I'm not suing because that's dumb. In the motion to dismiss, Hershey argues that plaintiffs lack standing because they suffered no injury. In fact, according to Hershey, the only injury alleged by plaintiffs is an economic injury. But the plaintiffs here did not suffer an economic injury because they were not deprived of the benefit of their bargain, where they did not ultimately receive delicious Reese's candy. That's quoted. Why is that quoted? Well, I guess they're quoting the complaint. Hershey also argues that the Florida Fair Protection Act claim fails because there's no reasonable consumer. No reasonable consumer would be deceived into viewing the full context of the product's packaging, which included both carved and uncarved images and decorating suggestion in all caps, disclaimers on most of the products. Point out that none of the packaging images included the plaintiff's complaint matched the actual packaging of the products they claim to have purchased. Oh, they use exemplars? Awesome. And they claim that they fail because they don't satisfy the heightened pleading requirements of Rule 9b and doesn't plead facts to establish their sustained actual damages. Yeah, what did you actually suffer? Like, what's the value of this versus this? Like with the stupid thing. Oh, alternatively, Hershey argues that if the entire complaint is not dismissed, parts of it should be dismissed or stricken. because the plaintiffs cannot assert claims based on products they did not purchase. That's true. They can't. In response, the plaintiffs contend that the whether the packaging is misleading is a factual question for the jury, and refer to YouTube videos and other consumer complaints as evidence of actual consumer deception. Did people really go on YouTube and bitch about this shit? Like, I bought a bag full of these candies, which are displayed with a bite taken out of them, and I thought they would have cute shapes drawn into them. That's a lot of effort. I don't know if I would do that. That's a lot. Claim they suffered injury, in fact, because they bought the products specifically for the cool artistic carvings, making the products worthless without them. Nope. You still have candy you still own candy. It's not worthless. They also say the all caps decorating suggestion disclaimer was inadequately disclosed in tiny print on the packaging. This is, imagine, look, you get put on the federal bench. Like, you are on the federal bench and you are listening to these really big cases, right? You're like, my job is so important. And all of a sudden you have this shit like put on your desk. And it's like, what is this? You mean to say that like some jackass is suing Hershey's because they bought candy that is in the shape of a pumpkin, thinking that there'd be like carving on it? Oh my gosh. Hershey's reiterates its argument the plaintiffs received the benefit of their bargain, namely edible candy, and that their selective focus on the carved images while ignoring the disclaimers and uncarved images on the same packaging was unreasonable. I'm with Hershey. I'm right here. They also point out that some packages show partially eaten candy, which no reasonable consumer would expect to receive in a package of new candy. Fair. I don't see a problem with that. The plaintiffs have said, look, we can replead. We can go back and give more information to support our claim. And Hershey says, no, even if you amend, it's not proper. It's not going to get back up to standard. The legal standard, lack of standing. Okay, some controversy. So this is basically, you have to allege, so in order to have standing, you have to allege that you have suffered an actual injury in fact that is A, concrete and particularized, means it is something. B, actual or imminent, not just conjectural or hypothetical, like it has actually occurred. Not that it's likely to occur, or, oh my gosh, it might occur. The injury is fairly traceable to conduct of the defendant. They caused the damn thing. And it is likely, not just merely speculative, that the injury will be redressed by a favorable decision. What you're asking me to do has to actually fix the harm. So they have the burden of proof standing. Okay, failure to state a claim. We've talked about this one a million times. You need to actually say something more. So this is Iqbal and Twombly and Bell Atlantic. The pleading standard is a bit heightened. You have to actually say, you can't just use labels. You have to actually say facts that would survive a motion to dismiss. The factual allegations have to be enough to raise to a right to relief above level of speculation. Makes sense, right? You actually have to allege facts that would, if true, give you the relief you're asking for. So we're limited to the actual complaint. Blah, 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 blah. We get to the discussion. As noted above, Hershey argues the complaint should be dismissed in its entirety because they lack standing. In the alternative, they say dismiss for failure to state a claim, or to plead the case, mean to say relatively particular things you need to say in order to maintain that claim. Let's see. So the court has to take up standing first because it's threshold. You can't be in court without standing. So the court has to first determine if you have standing. It's the Supreme Court's favorite way of not resolving an issue. So, Standing in suspense, blah, 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 blah. I imagine the argument is that before turning to the standing inquiry, the court also observes that in light of the dismissal of all but two of the named plaintiffs, the parties' arguments raised before those other plaintiffs were dismissed will be analyzed in the context of the two remaining named plaintiffs only. Oh, okay. So just basically saying, look, there's two of you there, but I've got to analyze your two claims. I can only analyze the two claims of the people in front of me. In the complaint, they say, I bought it expecting the damn thing had a carved pumpkin in it. It didn't. Then it says, we had damages amounting to the value we paid. All right. Where are you, Judge? Come on in. Let's hear some of the logic. I don't want to hear just that. 11th Circuit has established or emphasized economic injuries are the epitome of concrete injuries. Oh, you're going to kick it on this, huh? They experience an economic injury when, as a result of the deceptive act or unfair practice, she is deprived of the benefit of their bargain. Ordinarily, when the plaintiff purchases a product with a defect, the product retains some value, meaning for benefit of the bargain, damages are less than the entire purchase price of the product. Yep, you still got something. Might not have been what you wanted, but you didn't prove anything or allege anything. One exception is when the product is rendered valueless as a result of the defect. This one. Product is not valueless. Applying these principles, various courts have found that a plaintiff successfully pled an injury in fact for purposes of standing based on allegations that he or she would not have bought the product or would have paid less for it, if not for its allegedly deceptive label. Other courts have applied a different standard. In Valiente versus Publix Supermarkets, the plaintiff purchased honey lemon cough drops, apparently attracted by the phrase honey lemon and pictures of these ingredients. The statement that the product soothes sore throats. Based on those representations, the plaintiff believed that the cough drops contained lemon ingredients and were capable of soothing bronchial passages. The product's front label, however, disclosed the active ingredient was menthol, cough suppressant, oral anesthetic. And the ingredient list did not include lemon. Let's see. The plaintiff acknowledged that they did use the cough drops, which were not defective or inedible. Oop, that's a problem. The court ultimately held that the plaintiff failed to assert economic injury because the plaintiff did not allege that the honey lemon cough drops were defective, did not work as advertised, or otherwise were so flawed as to render them worthless. Damn it, you got candy, man. Let's see. Next one was the case of Melancon versus Alpha Prime Subs. Manufactured protein-infused brownies that were advertised as containing 19 grams of protein. But in fact, they contained less than advertised protein. Who does these fucking complaints? Like, who does these things? And it's like, this is my life. This is what makes me happy. Like, I feel satisfied in life being this person. Amazing to me. Pretty wild. So, in this case, you got a protein bar that might not have had 19 exactly, but you can't say that you didn't get something. This is just, yeah. As in Valiente and Melancon, plaintiffs here failed to allege that the Reese's products they purchased were defective or worthless. Put simply, plaintiffs don't allege that the products were not fit for consumption. They did not taste as they were expected to taste or otherwise were so flawed as to render them worthless. Rather, they alleged that they were disappointed that the products they purchased did not have detailed carvings. You cannot found the basis of your lawsuit on disappointment. Oh, there's jokes there too. So the allegations are conclusory. as to why they allegedly have been deprived of the benefit of their bargain, not enough to plausibly allege a concrete economic injury. So no standing. Bye. See you later. Out the door. Don't want you. Get out of here. Moreover, there are no factual allegations regarding the price they might have paid if they were marketed with what they actually showed as. Yeah, you kind of got to do that. You have to have a difference. You have to have some plausible way of calculating the fucking damages. What a nightmare. Was Andy here? Andy, those are private texts. This reminds me of promises Rob would make to me via text at 2 a.m. in the morning. Oh, Andy, how I have missed thee. Cheers to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Those babies aren't babies anymore, are they? No, they're not. Probably running you crazy. Let's see. So, basically, everything about this complaint is garbage. Lululemon got served? What's the Lululemon case? Dismissing complaint for lack of standing because the blanket allegation to paid price premium failed to tie to any aspect of the statements. Oh, Lululemon? Why? Who's paying for Lululemon these days? Isn't that shit expensive as hell? Well, either way. Moving on. In short, accepting all of the plaintiff's claims in the complaint as true and viewing them in a light most favorable to the plaintiff, the court finds plaintiffs have failed to allege facts demonstrating a concrete injury. No standing. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. The other arguments for dismissal, hey, because you won the first, we don't have to address the others. Leave to amend. Hey, but Judge, if you let us go back, we can totally fix it. Judge is like, nope, can't fix standing. See you later. Bye. Don't want it. You can't do it. I'm not going to do it. You're out of here. This is a bullshit complaint. You never should have bothered me. Good. Thank you for giving my law clerk practice, but that's really the only benefit you gave. Yeeted, son, goodbye. Dare you sue Reese's on the basis of no carved pumpkins. Rude. And thus, we have completed the story of the jackass lawyers and parties who sued Reese's because the pumpkin, or was it the pumpkin that they got, looked like that rather than that. And there were 19 pages of a judicial opinion that was required to tell these jackasses no. Just stupid. That's how I feel about that. If there were any surprise, like if you guys are wondering how I felt about those types of lawsuits, I just told you. What a nightmare. All right. Chugging along. Catch up on Super Chats, get to our last topic, which is some lawyers getting in some damn trouble. As we are apt to do. Should I eat the expired candy? I feel like I should. Mini Mischief 1 was like, candy never really expires. The worst is I know where she gets that, and it's not her mother. So I apologize for nothing. I mean, it looks good. Why not? Sentient Sigh, we'll end up on replay replacing a roof tomorrow. Oh my gosh, good luck. XCDA, yay. Mods like Reese's. We all like Reese's. Who doesn't like Reese's? Analytical Barney AB, yay. EDB started talking about this on Food Court. I didn't know that. That's cool. The case is a disaster, but yay. Shanta, I hate misrepresented product. What you see outside is not even close to inside, but for $8, it should be consumed or tossed depending on what I really got. The thing is, you're buying something that on the very front of it is, if you thought that cute little drawing on the front was like how the thing was actually going to look on the inside, you're an idiot. You're just dumb. Meme Express, Meme Empress. Oh, and when you realize that, like, you open the package and you see like it's not like engraved with a little pumpkin, you should be laughing at yourself, like mad at yourself for not catching that beforehand. Be like, oh, I probably should have known. Illustration on the front. Probably should have known that it wasn't, carved really pretty like a pumpkin. You don't just sue. Meme Empress, the lawsuit is just, my pumpkin Reese's is not jack-o'-lantern. It's labeled incorrectly. You just didn't read it. Oh, it's not labeled incorrectly. You just didn't read it. Yeah, pretty much. That's what it is. Analytical Barney AB, 41 years old. Anyone else remember growing up being grateful for some Reese's? My dad ate half my trick-or-treating. You think I said anything? Nope. It's right around the corner, folks. Right around the corner. Oh, I'm being told. Guys, if you're watching still, 1,500 of you, hit the like button. I haven't even been watching. I haven't asked for you guys once. Please, if you like the content, we're back. We're streaming again. Sorry for the delay or being out. It was outside of my control. The world wonders. I don't mind keeping companies on their toes. To be honest, I don't either. I feel like, though, if I'm a lawyer filing this lawsuit, I very much am nervous for my license. I'm very much like, I'm going to get sanctioned. Look at me get sanctioned. Yay. This has got like reprimand all over it. And there's some cases that I think are legit. This one is not one of them. Why it took so long, I don't know. Why there was a plaintiff to begin with. It's kind of wild. Anyways. All right. So please like button and subscribe if you are here. If you think you are subscribed, double check. I know YouTube says they don't do it, but the number of people who come to me like, I was unsubscribed. It is not. It is more than one. So please remember to do that. So let's swoop and we'll get to our last topic. So, okay. ChatGPT is at it again. Oh, you crazy ChatGPT. Let's see. Where was I going to go? The opinion. Maybe we'll do an article. Let's do an article about it, shall we? I feel like I have to do the opinion. I want to do the article. Let's do the article. We're going to do the article. Because the opinion, I'll see if I can't highlight the opinion a couple places, but we don't have time for 32 pages. I don't have it in me for 32 pages. So let's go to the article. Shall we? I think we shall. So from the Daily Journal, and this article is hyperlinked on the bar's website. So the bar actually refers to this article when they want explanation of the actual case itself. All right. Saw your note. Good night, Sandy. Everyone say good night, Sandy. Everyone say hi to the mods. Mods are great. Love the mods. State Court of Appeals issues its first opinion sanctioning a lawyer for AI hallucinations. An AI hallucination is when the AI, you plug something into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT really, really, really wants to make you happy. They want to make you happy. So ChatGPT says, you know what? This one argument you really needed to make, there's a case that stands for it. Just made up out of nowhere. Completely just whole cloth. Not real. Fake news. So that's what a hallucination is. More than 200 documented instances of U.S. legal decisions have involved legal hallucinations to date, according to a database maintained by Stanford Law School researcher. Last year, Chief Justice John Roberts warned that a shortcoming known as hallucination in AI tools can lead to citations to non-existent cases. So a lawyer's failure to check the delusional ChatGPT output he folded into his pleadings has cost him $10,000 in sanctions and made him the target of a state appellate panel's withering opinion of first impression regarding hallucinations in legal drafting. Plus, he lost the case, it's being reported to the state bar, and he has to show the opinion to his client, and he has to certify to the court that he has done so. Ouch. We conclude that by noting that hallucination is a particularly apt word to describe the darker consequences of AI, wrote presiding Justice Lee Smalley Edmund of the Second District Court of Appeals Division 3. The attorney who ran afoul of the panel, Amir Mostafavi of Mostafavi Law Group in Los Angeles, declared himself devastated by the opinion. He explained that after he drafted his appeal for a client in an employment case, he ran it through ChatGPT as a final step. I asked it to enhance the writing, the wording, to make it look more professionally written. Said I didn't know such a thing as hallucinations existed. Ouch. When it came out, I looked at the format, not the content, and then I went and I put it in PDF and filed it. Here's the thing, though. You didn't realize that the arguments were different than the ones you were making, or the case was different than the one you had cited? Like, you didn't realize it was new? Message seeking comment from ChatGPT's parent company, OpenAI, received no response. Yeah, why are they going to respond to that? Aside from the hallucinations, Edmund and colleagues noted that the appeal in question concerned an affirmance of summary judgment in an otherwise unremarkable case that would ordinarily never have led to a published opinion. Oh, that's going to get you in trouble. Yeah, basically, this thing went dismissed, and this thing would have gone nowhere, but we need to make a point here. So, judge writes, the AI tools that the lawyer used created fake legal authority, sometimes referred to as AI hallucinations, that were undetected by plaintiff's counsel because he did not read the cases the AI tool cited. That is going to get you 10 out of 10 in trouble. And although the misuse of AI in legal drafting has gotten a lot of attention, no California court has addressed the issue. We therefore published this opinion as a warning. Oh my God. Just imagine, you are now the lawyer. So, Mostafavi, you are now the lawyer that gets to serve as the example. That is what the Court of Appeals just did. They said, you, sir, we're going to give you a very high honor. You mean it's like something that people respect me for? Nope, not quite that. We're going to give you a very, very, very prestigious title. You mean like something that's going to get me something positive out of my life and career? Sorry again, son. Not that. You get to be the example for everybody else. Like a good one? Sorry. Third strike. You're out. It's that. Lawyers have been warned before. AI hallucinations are here to stay. Emailed that's just some comment from a law professor. Stanford Law School. We know how we feel about Stanford Law School. We're not big fans. More than 200 documented instances of U.S. legal decisions have involved legal hallucinations to date. Recent advances such as retrieval, augmented generation, and oh my God, agentic systems. Say that 9 times fast. What the hell? Our research shows that widely marketed tools must always be checked by lawyers, as there's no known solution. Yeah, that's the problem. You have to check. You have to check. The panel wrote that nearly all the quotations in the briefing were fabricated. Well, that right there tells me that maybe you didn't quite represent what you thought you did to the court, because you're like, hey, I just said, don't add anything, don't change anything, just fix the style. And almost all of the quotes were fabricated. Okay. All right. Even though most of the cases he cited do exist. So the cases exist, but the quotes are fabricated. That's even worse. Like you can see. Even so, many of the cases plaintiff cites do not support the propositions for which they are cited or discuss other matters entirely. And a few of the cases don't exist at all. That's the problem. One case that appeared in the briefing to discuss the abuse of a summary judgment procedure and the legislative purpose behind Section 437 CF2 of the Civil Code, the panel said, adding, in fact, Schimmel does not contain a single reference to either summary judgment or Section 437C. Oh, like the whole case doesn't even talk about it. Not even on point. Describing the consequences of such fakery. We're getting all the words today. We got utterly, we got all kinds of things. Morality, murderers, thieves, cheats, fakery. Describing the consequences of such fakery, the panel wrote, AI hallucinations or hallucinates facts and law to an attorney who takes them as real and repeats them to a court. The court detected and rejected these particular hallucinations, but there are many instances, hopefully not in a judicial setting, where they're circulated, believed, and become fact and law in some minds. We all must guard against those instances. When it scrutinized the briefing, the Court of Appeals or the appellate court spotted the fabrications, then it sent it to him in order to show cause. So he was ordered to show up and be like, why am I not sanctioning your ass for these improper sites? Opposing counsel acknowledged that he was fooled by the bogus quotes from the real cases that infected the appeal. And the appellate panel sent him a copy of the order to show cause that it issued Mustafavi. Sorry, I'm going to screw that up. So, opposing counsel didn't catch it yet. What the hell were you doing? How did you not find it? Oh, yeah, hearken. Hearken back to utterly ridiculous words that we've used in this stream. Quote, I was too busy writing my own appeal brief, so I never thought to check his sites. Wait a minute. Isn't that kind of, don't you have to argue against his? When I got the order, I was shocked. I was working my ass off. He was using a robot to write his shit. Yes, finally, a quote, a real quote. Look, that's not polished at all. That is a real quote. Thank you, counsel, for giving us that lovely sentiment. I was too busy writing my own appeal briefs, so I never thought to check his sites. Well, I kind of ding you points on that one, but then when you go on, when I got the order, I was shocked. I was working my ass off, and he was using a robot to write his shit. Points. Solid. Good points. Very good points. Because he failed to detect the citations, the panel was like, nah, bro, he's going to give the money to the bar and the court. He ain't going to give it to you. Oh, great. So this is the first case in California. It's not the first time that we've had hallucinations. This was another one I saw. So Central District of California, federal court, there was a case, I think opinion came out, I think today, when the judge scolded Hagen's Berman for similar issues of hallucinations in their pleadings as well. That's a very big law firm. Firm last week said that briefs were drafted by co-counsel outside the firm, and Hagen's also faulted opposing counsel at Skadden, another massive law firm, for delaying notification they had discovered the fake material. Really? You're going to yell at them because they didn't catch your fucking error first? Sure, why not? In August, a federal judge in Arizona imposed severe sanctions on a lawyer who filed an opening brief replete with non-existent and or inapposite, basically not saying what you said it did, misquoted cases for a Social Security claimant. Jeez. The brief's deficiency were consistent with artificial intelligence generated hallucinations. The judge removed the lawyer from the case, revoked pro hoc vice status, struck her opening brief, reported her to the bar, and required her to write letters to the 3 judges to whom she attributed fictitious cases. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? That AI is going to get you. It's going to get you. Let's see. Are there any tidbits in the opinion that are worth looking at? Let me look. Let me see. Let me switch over to this. Share that tab instead. Got some of the opinion. Let's see. See what I mean? 32 pages. Look, if you are 32 pages, oh, save me from that fate any day. This appeal is, in most respects, unremarkable. Plaintiff filed a complaint alleging a variety of employment-related claims, and the trial court granted Motion for summary judgment, finding no trial issues. SA the claim. Oh, excuse me, folks. It's late here. Not too late, but it's late. Plaintiff challenged the grant of summary judgment on several grounds, none of which raises any novel questions of law or requires us to apply settled law in a unique factual context. Basically, every point he tried to make was not the point he thought it was. In short, this is, in most respects, a straightforward appeal that, under normal circumstances, would not warrant publication. What sets this appeal apart, and the reasons we've elected to publish this opinion, is that nearly all of the legal quotations in plaintiff's opening brief and many of the quotations in the reply brief are fabricated. That is, the quotes plaintiff attributes to published cases do not appear in those cases or anywhere else. Shitting a brick. That is what I would be doing. That is horrible. So, where it's going. We therefore publish this opinion as a warning, simply stated. No brief, pleading, motion, or any other paper filed in any court should contain any citations, whether provided by generative AI or any other source, that the attorney responsible for submitting the pleading has not personally read and verified. Because plaintiff's counsel's conduct in this case violated a basic duty that counsel owes to the client and to the court, we impose a monetary sanction on counsel, direct him to serve a copy of this opinion on his client, and direct the clerk of the court to serve a copy of this opinion on the state bar. Oof. So the court then goes on for 32 pages explaining their rationale. Save me from any fate that involves this. Nope. I will take pass on everything. $10,000 in sanctions paid to the clerk of this court no later than 30 days after remitted is filed. Pretty wild, folks. Pretty wild. So, that's where we are. Let's see. Shorter stream this evening. By shorter, I mean, hey, we're going to keep it under 4 hours. I love this. So, those are the topics for the evening. Let's play catch up, and then I'll bid you guys good evening and a pleasant weekend as I go back to sleep and then more trial prep. Because again, I got trial all week next week. It's a tough one. This one's going to be hard. No, parties might settle. You never know. Who knows? So let's see. Catching up on some of these last super chats, and then we'll get wrapping. Shanta, no, I don't mean this case. There are some that are very different. There's a lot of, oh, you mean, in the wrong, yes. Look, if you buy a product, it should be what it's advertised as being. I agree with you. I think that product liability cases have very good purposes to them. This one wasn't it, though. Meme Express, be pretty funny to change one letter in my name. Meme Express. Meme Empress. Have I said that like 5 times, by the way? Meme Empress. Meme Express. Meme Empress. I mean, I'm sorry. My brain just went there. It's my bad. Patty P, thanks for being a member for 14 months. Glad to see you here and everybody as well. Let's see. All right, folks. I think that's going to do it for us this evening. That is going to do it for us indeed. Okay. Let's get to wrapping. On your guys' way out, please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. Please consider sticking around. Go back, watch the content. Please go watch all the content all my friends create. I know that Richard Hogue Law, is coming out with new videos and new channel. He's new content. Reasonable minds can differ. His tagline. So please check his channel out. Runkle of the Bailey, Emily D. Baker, Lena Legal Bites. Check out all your favorite creators. Please go give them some love. Follow up on the legal news and all of the other news as well. Let's see. Is Runkle at the land? I don't know. I haven't been able to talk to him in a few days, which is actually kind of rare. I'll have to check in on him over the weekend. Make sure that he's doing okay. So You guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Please, if you are doing anything this weekend, enjoy, hug your friends, hug your family, hug friends that are family. If you're watching college football, enjoy the games. Don't get too invested unless it's appropriate in some settings. I don't know. Don't follow those instructions. Anyways, if you do have the opportunity, go make something, you'll feel better. Have a wonderful weekend. Say hi to everyone around you. I will see you guys next week. I will be back next week, maintaining present health. We should be good. To all of you, thank you for being here. Thank you to the mods for contributing both the stories this evening as well as all of their time in keeping the chat productive, on point, and good. Thank you to the chat and to all of you who participated and had some fun chatting around. I will catch you guys next time, and I'm going to go ahead and click the button and get out of here. So good evening, good night, have a lovely weekend, and have a good week. Bye, guys.